The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests.
What is going on, my Go Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 327. We are live on YouTube, streaming to over 150 countries worldwide. Thank you for the tens and tens of you that are out there live. If you are out there in the live chat, go ahead and say something. We don't know that you're out there unless you do. If you're watching this in replay or listening to this in podcast form, the conversation does not have to stop here. Go ahead and utilize that comment section below. Ask any questions, make any comments, tell us how bad we are, all of that stuff. We take it all. I'd rather receive bad criticism than no criticism whatsoever. So it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get those comments out there. Throughout the show tonight, we do have some special guests. If you have any questions for our guests, go ahead and tag myself or Clover, and we will be able to try to get those questions asked as quickly as possible. If you want to text into the show, yes, you can text into the show, utilizing the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends over at Wilder Tactical. That number is 530-364-4678. Go check out wildertactical.com. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in that darkness, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I might be able to walk you through some stuff. More importantly, I might be able to just be a good listener for you. But if you are looking for someone that can get you towards some medical attention, remember two things. Number one, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way possible. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255. Veterans, press the number 1. We are spotlighting, as always, United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And as always, I got to get this up here real quick. We are a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. Go check out all your favorite Pro Gun, Pro 2A podcasts over at selfdefenseradio.net. And let's get this off of my ugly mug. And what sounded weird? Clove?
The Wilder Tactical.
Oh, yeah, it's strange. Yeah, we got new sponsor for that this year. Our buddies over at Wilder Tactical. Great gear if you guys are into like. I'm a gear junkie, but the best war belt in the world, in my opinion, comes from Wilder, and they're good friends and all of that. So go check out wildertactical.com. Absolutely. Riding shotgun as always. Who's He's a man of many words. He likes to hear himself talk and doesn't like listening to other people. But tonight, he's going to be with us as always from the great state of Texas, the tactical leprechaun himself. What's up, Clove? How are you?
Yo, I'm here.
You're here?
Present. Yeah, much like Obama, present.
Well, good. Let's say hello to our channel members out there before we bring our special guests in. We got G Webs. He says, for what it's worth, your show is not on my feed of live shows tonight. I had to go look in your channel for it. That's interesting. And Kyle out there, our buddy from Anderson, says didn't get a notification. So thank you, YouTube. Appreciate you. As if we were already way ahead of the curve being a gun channel on YouTube. Thank you.
It's almost like a blessing. Almost like a blessing. It's on the same exact time every single day,
every single week. Thank God, my 4 listeners out there know my schedule. So yeah. Gizzard Gary's out there. He says, "Hey there, Ghost Squad," and he says, "Pony Express 2024." Absolutely, Pony Express 2024. Let's see what our channel members we got. Snob out there. He says, "Yo." He's a big Toyota fan, apparently. I don't know. But no, let's see. What's up, Snobby? And let's go through. I'm not calling everybody out. I wish I could, but that is a perk of being a channel member. So if you're interested, click that join button. We're not asking you to, but if you want to, hey, go for it. Wes is out there. What's up, Wes? He's must be an Oklahoma thing. It's just yos everywhere. Yo-yos. There you go. Let's see here. Any more out there? I'm missing some. Chris from the 7-4. What's up, homie? Yeah, the last couple of weeks, Chris and Ginger and all of them haven't been on the show, but maybe next week we'll get you in. We'll get you back in here for sure. Go check out Chris from the 740 channel, Faux Shizzle. And Mandatory, I love you, brother, but please watch the language out there. You know what I mean. Just be careful. YouTube doesn't like all sorts of stuff like that. So let's bring in our special guests and special. These guys wore helmets on the short bus. As far as I know, they did not lick the windows, but that has not been confirmed. We've got a couple guys from SDS Imports. We got Jared and Adam. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Thanks for coming on.
Jared was Army, so he probably licked quite a few things on the way to the room.
Wow. He's coming in strong.
That's a bold move.
My thing is this. I mean, if you're Air Force, do you really have room to talk about anything? I'm just saying.
I got a lot of room, especially in my rooms at the Chow Hall.
The Chow Hall. You mean the 4-star restaurants?
Exactly,
yes.
all kinds of room.
I don't know. I mean, Adam's beard is way grayer than what I think any Air Force member's beard should be. So
I think he dyes that for effect.
Yeah,
that's the reverse. What is that stuff? Men's. What is it called? I don't know.
But I mean, it wouldn't be just for men. He'd have to use something different.
Just for fly boys? Is that? Or is that?
Yeah, like children do that too.
Wow. Clover comes in hot too. Yeah, so a little quick story about the Air Force. And I've told this story before. I'm sure Clover's like, ugh. But this is like 1995. I was in Okinawa, Japan. And the base I was at, half our barracks were always empty because we were always kind of rotating in and out, going different places. And all of a sudden, like on a Thursday afternoon, we had, I don't know, like 100 or so, like E2 and E3 airmen. I think we call them airmen. That show up and like, what the hell?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and they said that they were remodeling their living quarters, their condos, if you will, and they needed a place to stay for a week or so. And so it is what it is. So I come back like Sunday afternoon. I usually went away for weekends, and they were gone. And I was like, hey, what happened to the flyboys, And they said, oh, they moved them to officer quarters. And I was like, what? And he says, oh, yeah, they said that these living conditions were unsatisfactory. And I was like, we live here every day, So, yeah, the flyboys got E2s living in empty officers' quarters. Must be nice.
I don't know. I was stationed in Hawaii when I was in the Army. And so you had Schofield Barracks, which was all right. And then you had Pearl Harbor, which was this fantastic place that, and then you had Kaneohe, where the Marines were at, which was like,
K-Bay.
I think the worst of the worst. Never saw Hickam because they didn't let us
Why? Because K-Bay was a Marine base. Of course it was the worst of the worst.
Yeah. So Hammerhead shark problem. But Hickam Air Force Base, you only got to see it when you were leaving. And you were like, that place looks nice. Looks magical.
Country clubs, sterling silver, white tablecloths, filet mignon for lunch. I mean, I get Adam. That we're just doing this because we're jealous, right? Like we're absolutely jealous. So it is what it is. Nutty says there's some SDS up in here. There is some SDS up in here.
SDS is up in everything, I think, right now. It's hard to get on the internet right now and not see stuff that we're doing or
Pornhub's been busy, hasn't it?
Dude, it's
insane.
Stay out of my DMs, internet. Stay out of my DMs. Like, I'm tired.
Right.
Yeah, I need a break. And I got Neil. Neil's in the background here. He's our marketing director. if you guys don't know,
you put baby in the corner. What the hell, man?
It's good you can finally join us, Neil.
He can't even
Thank
hear me
you.
because I have an earbud in, so he's just sitting here.
Oh.
He's just this awkward guy with his own beer. We're both on the road, so we're visiting Knoxville this week.
Well, I'm going to say, man, your living room looks awful like a hotel room. Just saying.
Yeah,
you know?
mothership. We had to visit the mothership this week, and so we're having a good time. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Our tech and daughters out there says Ghost just had a great customer service experience with Colin at SDS. So tell Colin, job well done, apparently.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you a quick story about Colin.
Colin got fired today, I heard. Just saying. Sorry, Artec. No, just kidding.
No. I met him a month ago, I guess, and today I walk in the warehouse, and pre-shot show, craziness going on.
Yeah.
And he comes up to me and he's talking to me, and I'm literally like, "Have I met you before?" And he's like, "Dude, it's me." And I'm like, you have been wiped from my memory somehow. Like I literally,
it's me.
Like,
I know it's you, but who are you?
I know, and that's what he said. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, remember last time you were here?" And I'm like, I have no recollection of who you are. And I felt bad for her. And he's like, he took his hat off and he's like, I wasn't wearing a hat last time. And I'm like, nope, doesn't change anything. Like,
no help.
No help. I felt so bad.
You got to stick with the Dittner philosophy, Jared. They're all red shirts until they made it at least 6 months.
Wow. It's fair, but Wes says he has
probably the first year I was there.
Yeah.
Wes says he has an SDS 1911 A1. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up before we start the talking. Gruns 914 out there says, "Hey SDS guys, I have a B9R carry. Which of the new sites do I need to order?" So we're going to go ahead and throw y'all in the deep end right now.
Oh, right now. Just today we just launched fiber optic and night sight options. OEM. They're from Tisas. So if you have dovetail front and rear sights, you can order either set, and you can upgrade your sights. 1911 caveat: gunsmith installation is required because dovetails are a little bit more involved. So use a sight pusher if you're not sure. But if not, support your local gunsmith. Go over there, toss him, $40, whatever it may be, and he'll put them in there right for you. But because our cut doesn't match Novak perfectly, we decided like, hey, let's start offering some of our OEM sites to give guys that option, and we're amped. I think sometimes the internet works faster than me. I took nice pictures this morning of them, and I got on 1911 forum, and they were already up there. Someone was like, 1911 sites from Tisas are here, and people started buying them. So as long as you have the carrier duty model with dovetail sights, the sets will work great. So fiber optic, tritium. We may have some other options. It's up to the project managers that that let us buy these parts. But if the consumers will it, I will be that outspoken voice for you and try and get those on our website.
Fantastic.
It's very aggravating when he wants to be.
Some people are like that, Adam. Yeah. Speaking of Adam, I know you're kind of a knife guy. We've talked about knives in the past. G-Webs out there says one of the things that I missed but really wanted to see, I think it's about SHOT Show, was the MAC Mark II knife. Any details on that?
It was there. Wasn't it, Jared?
Yeah, I don't think he got a chance to stop by the booth. I think that's what he's saying. He didn't get a chance to check it out. Let's see here.
Mark II knives have been out for a while now, and I've been stoked. Me, myself, and another my other personality, I'll call it. I'm a knife maker. And the Gerber Mark II was a super popular knife. So the MAC.
Is it me, or does Jared sound like he's in like a hole a mile away?
Yeah, he went in a tunnel.
Yeah, I don't know. Something weird with the microphone or something. No, it's no.
Maybe it's because I put this in.
Yeah, I think your microphone is on Neil's headset.
Oh, well, that would probably make sense. Yeah.
How's that sound now?
When Neil needs to talk, go ahead and give him the mic. Yeah, but I think that's the one that needs to be on.
How's that sound now? Better?
Yeah, it's a lot. There you go. That's better.
So yeah, the MAC Mark II, super popular. NAF guys are even more passionate, I think, than gun guys to a point.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And so Adam taking over, some of these knife projects has been cool to see. The Inglis knife that we're going to release in the coming weeks is going to be even more popular. But
nice.
we took everything that you liked about the Mark II and put in some modern manufacturing, some newer materials, and I think it's a stellar knife. And to see guys run up to the booth at SHOT Show, and even the way that they sell out, like when we put the Mac knives in stock on the e-com or our website, we put in 50 at a time or 20 at a time. They sell out in hours, and we're amped. So Adam's got some sorcery going in that office, and we've got some cool stuff lined up for 2024.
So G-Web says, just leave the earpiece in Neil's ear, and then Jared can just kind of sweet and talk sweetly into his ear. You know, that would be interesting.
I don't even like being,
that was quick, Neil.
I don't even like being in the same area code as my boss, and let alone the same room. And somehow here I am.
Whispering sweet nothings. Come on.
There are no.
Snob's got a question we're going to get to later. Talking about MP5s, I'm sure that you guys are just getting bombarded. MP5, the Mac 5 and the Mac 5K, easily probably one of the most talked about items that I heard about at SHOT, especially at Range Day. Got a chance to shoot them both at Range Day and at the Wolverine thing that Tuesday. Was that Tuesday night? Tuesday night where we got the 2 flat tires. That was awesome, by the way. But yeah, that was with the binary
one
on
of
Tuesday
the
night.
craziest SHOT Show stories ever.
Bro, 3 hours. 3 hours we sat there in the
Last time I
middle.
give
And people
away
don't
free
realize
passes.
the middle of the desert, like in the middle of nowhere, you know. But yeah, exactly. Clover, I saw that. So we did have a question. I want to go ahead and this is a great transition. Our friend out in California, Calaveras out there says, who's SDS? So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring up the website, and I want to let you guys kind of talk a little bit about SDS and the companies that you guys bring in and all that. We'll kind of flip through the website. We'll talk here in a little bit. We can do whatever you want, but kind of give a generalized statement of SDS, who you guys bring in, kind of the history of the company, and then we'll kind of start going brand to brand, if you will.
Yeah, so SDS Imports, classically or typically we were a firearms importer. And at some point we realized that importing just a product wasn't enough. So right after, kind of pre-pandemic into the pandemic, we worked as your typical importer, and we decided to make a change. We were like, hey guys, instead of just importing products, let's engineer products, let's design products. So instead of buying whatever a manufacturer overseas had, we decided to start putting our manufacturing, kind of our backbone into it and saying, well, these products are good, but they could be better. We could make them more suitable for the US shooter. And that's where our product managers like Adam got involved in, we took these guns that these guys were making and just better suited them for the US market and the US consumer. And as we did that, we decided that instead of just it being SDS Imports, to give credit due to some of the manufacturers that have been around a long time, like Tisas. Tisas has been making guns since 1994. They've been imported by quite a number of companies over the years, but no one really knew who Tisas was because it was always, the importer that took the credit. And we did it in the beginning. SDS Imports 1911s are still out there, and it's like, no, Tisas makes these guns. So we decided to start giving credit where credit was due to the manufacturers. And then with some of the other brands, we had directions and ideas that maybe didn't fit the mold that we thought that they deserved. So we decided, like, Mac, we had some products that we thought would fit with Mac and Spandau and Tokarev to kind of just bolster their presence here, so we could expand the product lines and pick a focus where we felt they were better. And that's just kind of how it grew. And we're just not your regular importer. We take the feedback that you guys, the US consumers, want. We go to the manufacturers and we're like, hey, this is how we have to change these products to make them better. And I hate the term Turkinelli, with the Turkish import shotguns, but so many people have brought in versions of these guns, and there's the Mac. And I think it's paid off for us because we have companies like Agency Arms now that are using the MAC shotguns to build their OEM shotguns because the other versions, were cost prohibitive or supply was hard to get. And it's really kind of shown out what we can do when we decide to just not buy whatever's available, but build them as we want them for the U.S. consumer.
Yeah. I think that just a couple of things, that us having guys living in Turkey, working with our partners over there, making sure they make them the way the U.S. market wants it.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's like, yes, we tell them, here's what the U.S. market, our Night Stalker series wouldn't sell anywhere else in the world.
No.
It is totally a U.S. type gun that the U.S. market wants. Everywhere else in the world, they're not going to be interested in it. So it's and then on a quality control standpoint, having one of our guys looking over their shoulder, constantly saying, "Hey, we need to make that trigger better," or "Hey, we need, it needs to be tweaked like this or that," has made a huge difference in the last 18 months.
Yeah, no, and Adam's getting ready to go over for his first trip, which is going to be exciting for him.
He may not come back. They may not let him back in the country.
I think Adam will come back. I don't see.
No, I'm sure he'd want to. I don't know if they're going to let him back. Yeah.
So, but Adam can tell you like what it's like to not just buy a product, but influence the product and have it built. And Adam daily, the meetings that they're in, it's cool to be working with manufacturers overseas that are receptive to that kind of change, because not everyone over there is like that. It's you take what you get. Like we put 10,000 guns in a container, we're sending it to the US. What you get is what you get. But Adam, what's it like with those relationships?
When I first started out about 3 years ago, we were, like Jared said, like some of the other importers. We were looking for what was available, trying to get it in and get it cheap and sell it. But then we started quickly realizing we wanted a better product. So we started searching for the best manufacturers to work with, the ones that would take our input and listen to us and start making the changes we wanted to see. And so that's what we did. We narrowed down to where we're now only really working with like 4 or 5 manufacturers, and we're constantly talking with these guys, and it's become more of a partnership than it is just a vendor-customer relationship. So I've been on multiple calls today with my manufacturer, basically. So I work directly with Tokarev, and that's who I focus with. And like the other product managers, they have person-to-person lines to where we're calling these people if they need anything, they can get a hold of us. If I'm got a question, I can call them up, message them, whatever. We'll have a face chat, and then we'll get to the bottom of the problem. I'm having monthly meetings. They're concerned with customer service issues, just like everybody else would be. If there's a major issue that's happened lately on Tokarev guns, we have a lot of stuff missing in boxes. End consumer gets it and he's missing his sights. Well, guess what? Tokarev can pull up that serial number on the sites or on their video cameras and see where the guy packed it. And if they're having a string of issues, they're going to address that issue over there. But if it's a stress of our issues, we're tracking to see if all of these sites are going missing in the same gun shops. You know what I mean?
This is true. And that's a fair thing. I remember Sunday night of SHOT, a few of us went out to dinner, went back to, I want to say the link, and went to a bar, ran into Matt, and Matt was there with the engineer that actually lives in Turkey. And we sat there and talked with him for 15 or 20 minutes, talking about an interesting life, because, he's putting in a full day of work in Turkey, and then he's having to stay up to weird, crazy, hours of the night to get to you guys on the phone and all of that. And I was like, man, that's, he's like, but that's, he knew going into it, that's what it was. But talking about different things, it was kind of fascinating to hear that side of the company,
Yeah, if you get Gaines going, you never know what you're going to hear.
Yeah,
it was definitely interesting.
Character.
Yeah, Gaines, I need to have him on the podcast. Holy cow! Yeah, he'd be an interesting.
Not
in an official capacity. Yes.
As the guy that has to land the marketing the next day. No, Gaines. We like Gaines in the engineering office.
I tried to really win.
Yeah,
I'm
but
as
Gaines
close to the engineering side as they'll let on out in public,
Yeah.
because they know I tend to stay quiet and just.
Yeah, if you want to have a conversation in metallurgy and tens of thousandths of an inch, Gaines is your guy. But no, it's we have a great team that goes over there. I'm slated to go over this year and hang out, and it's like I said, it's just refreshing to work with these companies where before it was you take what you get, and that's the product. And these companies are receptive to these changes, and it's I think with even Adam with Tokarev, it's, hey, we need these shotguns to work with Mossberg furniture. Overseas, they don't understand why. And in the US, we're like, because there's people that love to tinker. They have flathead screwdrivers and Dremels at home, and they want to customize the guns. So they have to fit Mossberg furniture. Or, even with our sights right now, it's like, the guns come with great sights. Why do you have to sell aftermarket sights? Some people like night sights. Some people like fiber optic sights. So these companies that work with us in that regard, the double stacks were a shining example of it. Tisas makes a fantastic polymer striker fired pistol that's high capacity. So when you're like, we need a high capacity 9mm, but we want it at a 1911, they kind of look at us and like, why? The PX9 is good. And we're like, well, Americans are weird sometimes. We want a single stack, a double stack 1911. And so that one took a little bit of arm bending and a little bit of T&E to get it done. But now that the product is here and they see it, they're like, oh, you guys are passionate about these guns. And so I think getting companies to understand the passion that we have as American shooters and the Second Amendment community here, it takes a little bit of convincing to some of them. But, when you have a company like Tisas that, despite our political climate with our government, they're still willing to jump through those hurdles to make sure we can get these guns to you guys at affordable prices. It's huge.
Yeah, I would imagine, and I want to bring Clover in. He knows that he can just jump in whenever, but I would imagine working with manufacturers from other countries that they know about the U.S., but they may not fully understand how different we are because, in most of Europe and Asia, there's only certain things that can or can't be allowed into certain countries. And then you have the U.S., and it's like, whatever we want to think of, we can kind of do. And so I think that must be a weird, kind of a strange mentality to have, is we never even thought about doing that. Well, yeah, but that's been going on for years over here. I mean, how does that relationship work with them saying, hey, I know it might be outside your realm of understanding, but it's big here.
Yeah. So some of those products, I think one of the funniest one for me was when when Tisas started making 10mm. So the 10mm aren't available in the Turkish market. And the Turkish consumers are upset about it. Like, they're like, we want that too. It's metric. Why can't we have the metric gun? And, so, we get that kind of feedback. And, Tisas and some of these companies
just call it a 3/4 of an inch or something, and they'll just forget about it.
Yeah. Like maybe that's what we should do. But, but it's kind of weird. And working with an international company like that, you see, because there's products in Brazil, there's products in, Austria, that we all kind of have like certain niches, and they're like, well, can we have that? And, and we're like, yeah, maybe you can.
Maybe the U.S. is leading the way into innovation and understanding of the gun culture worldwide. Who knows? You never know.
Hey, Jared, you know what other ammo they don't have over there? 38 Super.
No, don't even stop. I don't.
38 is Super, subject, Jared?
It is an extremely sore subject. Christ, the internet in 38 Super, the U.S. market in 38 Super. I will champion that we make a 40 Smith & Wesson before we expand 38 Super.
What about 30 Super carry? How about that?
No, because it's so 38 Super, I deal with this every day on the internet because we only offer one model in 38 Super, and that one globally, we are the only country that uses 38 Super. And so if you're a company that makes like, I don't know, 1 million 9mm barrels a year, and you're like, hey, but for one day, can we make 38 Super barrels? They're like, no. So we no 38 super done. Moving on.
Real quick before we move on, we got a super chat up here, $20 from G23. You guys know that I don't ask, nor do I encourage them, but all super chats go to sending care packages downrange to our guys over there. So thank you. G23 also knows when I do a super chat that I read them like I'm Ron Burgundy, like I will read what you put. He knows that I do not like 40 Smith & Wesson. So, of course, he puts hashtag 40 for life. Remember the men and women who are downrange away from their families and friends. Yes, but he knows that I'll have to read the hashtag 40 for life. So, thanks, G23.
Got you. He baited you. And
100%. He knows.
Your message leading up to the podcast about service members and having that hard conversation this year, I will say at SHOT Show this year, Veteran with the Sign and those guys that were really hammering that home.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
bravo.
Absolutely.
Like, holy cow. Like, to see manly men having that conversation now more openly. Yes, if you're struggling, call someone.
Yeah, that's a whole conversation that it is. Pride is a big, huge thing in lives, and especially kind of the alpha warrior guys. And sometimes it's tough to open up and understand. One of the biggest conversations I've had in the last couple of weeks with different people is not just the veteran that is willing to start looking for signs and understanding. We need their family members and loved ones, because a lot of these guys don't realize their personalities have changed. They don't realize they're going through something, and we need your help to maybe start looking for signs that they may not realize something's up. So yeah, bring Clover in real quick. Clove, I know that we got some questions out there. Any questions that you personally have, or anything out in their chat that we want to bring up right now?
What was the first firearm that SDS imported?
Great question.
Would that have been the
yeah, it would have been. So SDS Imports came about after DDI Industries. So DDI back in the day was a big importer and manufacturer of AKs, and in particular an AK shotgun that was a Sega 12 clone. When DDI ceased operations, they sold off parts of their company, and SDS Imports continued to import the Lynx 12 shotgun, which was a Sega based clone.
Oh, sweet.
And it kind of went on for, we did some things with that moving on, and unfortunately that was one of those victims of a manufacturer that we were like, hey guys, like, let's make this gun better. And that manufacturer was like, nope, this is what we're making. And so we decided, hey, this is, and it was unfortunate because it was, I think the Lynx 12 was, I think the best Saiga 12 clone that was on the market. It was a third the price and it was really good, but the manufacturer just wouldn't work with us to improve the product and make it what we envisioned it would be moving forward. So that was it. That's how SDS started. It was a semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun.
And then I think the Tisas Army was probably the first pistol.
Yeah. So when we got whatever Tisas had going on with their previous importer, we were able to snap that up and start bringing in. And that was when the U.S. Army still had a chrome barrel.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of those things where Tisas was like, well, it looks like it did in World War II, but we're like, no, it has a chrome barrel. It can't have a chrome barrel. It's got to have a black. It has to have and it was Cerakote black at the time. It's what the service was, and so having them over the years, and we're on our third generation now, or fourth generation of U.S. Armies.
Yeah.
And each time we've gotten closer and closer.
We got those
so
three
close
letters
now that so close. Yeah, now we're so close that the CMP was like, hey, can we sell those to U.S. shooters too? And we're like, yeah. So the Civilian Marksmanship Program has their own version of it now. But yeah, the Lynx 12, and then the I think it was the Fatih B380 and the 1911 U.S. Army were the first guns.
Nice. Let's go.
Question when I saw you in Fort Worth last week.
You have to forgive Clover. It takes him a while to he's East Texan, so it takes a while for wires to connect sometimes.
Easy, so am I.
I'm from Texas. I'm from Dallas. Mandatory carry, $10 super chat. Hashtag good Lord, folks, you're killing me. I don't even know what this means. Hashtag 40 for life. Also remember Operation Anime Storm. You have to forgive mandatory carry. He's a coastie, so that should explain it. But yeah, thank you for that. Let's go to the starred comments real quick. Snob, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Sykes says, will the fiber optic sights fit the 1911 B45? And I think Adam might have answered that, or another question. Will you guys be bringing the 10 millimeter 1911? I think you answered that one, Adam.
Yeah, we've got a couple 10 millimeter options. What do we got? The regular D10, Jared?
Yeah, D10 with LPA adjustable sights. We have the D10 fiber optic that's going to have the fiber optic. And then the Yukon, which is our bobtail 4 1/4 inch version, which is a snappy boy. You put some Underwoods in that gun. And so the Yukon,
I've still got the blister on
brass so fast out of that gun in slow motion at 140 frames a second. That brass is still moving at full speed. Like it is pleasantly fun to shoot for 2 mags.
That's awesome.
Yeah, try it for that rounds in one day.
Well, it's probably awesome. It's probably awesome for a couple hundred rounds, I imagine. Yeah.
I mean, if you shoot like 40 Smith and Wesson type 10 millimeter, yes, but you put some Underwoods through that thing. Whoo!
I say that there's only 2 good things about 40 Smith and Wesson. They can be converted to 10 millimeter or 357 SIG. That's about it. So, for all you 40 lovers out there, sorry for you. Gruns out there wants to know what happened to your high powers. I don't know. I shot them. So I don't know what happened to them, but maybe I don't know. We'll go to the website here in a second, and we'll look at everything.
So Tisas high powers for us, not happening. But we decided to bring back another forgotten brand, which was English manufacturing.
Yes, you did.
And we have 4 versions of those that are going to be coming probably in the middle of March. If you were at
I shot them, and they're amazing, by the way. So
yeah, they're super, super cool. I think that was another sleeper hit that a lot of people didn't expect from us this year. But the English GP35, the P35, and the L9A1 for the high power guys that wanted something that looked and felt a part of, a Cold War era high power. I think we hit that nail on the head hard, and I think people are going to be excited when they hit the market.
Yeah. G-Web's out there. Okay, real quick. Okay, you're having fun now, guys. 9 millimeter equals limp wrist. Sorry, not sorry. Says the guy who likes 40 Smith. Let's just be honest. So jealousy does not look good on you, T23. But appreciate your super chat anyways. G-Web says they make a lot of guns in Turkey. This is actually a great question. Is the recreational shooting scene, what's it like there in Turkey? Are you familiar with the recreational shooting scene in Turkey?
Gaines could probably answer that question, but from what I've seen, they do still do a lot of hog hunting, bird hunting. Not as much like competition style that I've seen.
Okay.
Or a lot of recreational, because I think they get limited for their ammo. If I'm not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ironically enough, like the Kydex holster scene over there is pretty legit. There's a lot of like Kydex guys that do holsters over there, which, we brought in some of them, like the Tisas branded holsters we offer. It's like, man, they're like making fold over Kydex like, a guy in Georgia would make, which was pretty cool. But I do see a lot of it almost has more of like a European feel, bird hunters, hog hunting and things like that. I don't see like a lot of 3-gun or like IDPA. But the manufacturing scene over there is nuts. Like the companies that are doing business there, or the even one of our suppliers, it's like they make medical implants and guns. So
they've been making guns since the 1600s.
Yeah. So
in Turkey,
it's nothing new over there.
Yeah. So it's I'm excited to go because I want to see that. I want to see what it's like over there and check it out, because even the guys that we work with Tisas and we're hanging out at SHOT Show, some of them are just like regular dudes. They just don't speak as good as English, and I don't speak as good of Turkish. I don't speak any Turkish.
I know. Clover and I learned a couple things a couple years ago. Merhaba, and then goody goody. So
good morning.
Yeah, and then goody goody is goodbye. So I got that going for me. So
I've been brushing up. One of our employees that's stationed or is Turkish, Altan. He's a great interpreter for us, and he's going to start teaching me how to do spoon dancing and stuff before I head over. So
please let there be video of this. Just saying.
Oh, I'm sure they will be because Gaines will be there, and I'm sure they'll be.
I just need video. I just need video of the spoon dancing. That's amazing. Let's see here. Clover, before we jump into the website, you got anything you want to bring up?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, so we're going to go to the website.
Clover's just hanging out. He's I'm good.
Well, he's definitely worth what I'm paying him. So
we can talk about that shotgun right there real quick.
All right, let's go to Spandau first, since he obviously wants to talk Spandau, I'm sure. Let's start with Spandau. Spandau shotguns for you guys out there. Let's kind of go over the line real quick and let you guys talk about Spandau.
So Spandau was a passion project of one of our senior product managers, Jeff Jackson, who was a collegiate, trap, skeet, sporting clay shooter, 2-time national champion. We kind of felt the need that, if you got into over-unders or competition shotguns, you could find a sub $700 option or a over $2,000 option. I think the Ruger Red Label, if you guys remember the Red Label shotguns, that was like $1,000 shotgun that had a lot of features and it was built right, but they just kind of disappeared. So with Spandau, we looked at shotguns that you could give to, a high school or collegiate, trap and skeet shooter that would give them that. Spandau is going to be expanding this year into more hunting. It's not on the website yet, but we had the only shotgun at SHOT Show in the new Realtree APX pattern with our S2 semi-automatics. So Spandau is just kind of that. We're looking at, guns that are going to be affordable, that you're going to be comfortable with dragging through the fields, through the marshes, whether you're chasing ducks or upland birds. And then also for those guys that are going to make a career out of competitive shotgun shooting and need a shotgun that they're phenomenal. I come from like 3-gun and, IDPA and stuff like that. Shooting these shotguns though is easy. I love seeing guys shoot these for the first time. They're like, oh, I'm not really good at shooting clay pigeons. And then they bust 4 or 5 clays in a row. And you're like, I'm not saying it's a shotgun, but it might be helping you.
So the very first time I ever shot at clay was Monday at range day, and Clover took me over to the one of the shotgun booths over there and introduced me to shotgun clay. And for a guy that usually gets rashes when we start talking about shotguns and all of that, I can't lie, I had a pretty decent time. So maybe
I was worried you
because
were going to have to leave the room when we started talking about Spandau.
I was gonna let Clover take this one. Yeah, he actually has worked with your Spandau stuff, but let's talk real quick about we've got the Premier Field up here. Obviously, is there much difference besides the furniture upgrades between the Field and the
target guns?
The target guns, and they kind of look the same except for furniture stuff upgrades.
They kind of look it though, but so the Premier Field is a much lighter, much nimbler shotgun, swamped barrels, so you're going to save a little bit of weight. That gun in the 20 gauge, 26-inch barrel length is a blast to shoot. It points well. Super lightweight. I've been using it for rabbit hunting. I've even went squirrel hunting with that gun, and people are like, "You're using an over/under for squirrel," and then they shoot the gun. It is that. It's a little bit narrower furniture. The stock is designed to be a little bit more lightweight, where the field guns are much heavier, much more stout for those competition shooters.
The target guns are more heavier.
For 4 or 5 hours. So they just have they're purpose built. So if you're going to be trudging through the fields looking for quail, pheasants, the Field is the gun. If you're going to be the guy who's going to shoot 4 or 5 rounds of trap or skeet in a day, the target is the gun, and they're purpose built tools.
So let's go through the Field real quick, and you're talking about the different gauges and lengths. It comes in a 26-inch 12 gauge, a 28-inch 12 gauge, 26, 20, 28-inch 20, a 26-inch 28, a 28-inch 28, and then the 26 and 28 410. So a lot of different options out there for sure in the field. And we're going to run over here and look at the Target
28
model.
for the win. Just saying, 28 for the win.
Yeah,
that one is that and 410. I think are very passionate among hunters.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
a
great
simple
for
guy.
kids,
20
though.
gauge works for me, but the 28 gauge hunters and the 410 hunters, they're more fanatical than like 40 Smith and Wesson guys.
Yeah. And the Target obviously comes in a 28-inch and a 30-inch 12 gauge. Is that correct? The only two models in that, right?
Yeah.
Right
So for trap, skeet, sporting clays, 5-stand, 12 gauge is kind of the go-to. And the most common barrel lengths are 28, 30 because you're shooting birds at 50 to 60 yards in some of the disciplines. So that little extra barrel length paired with the Benelli choke tube system, so you can dial it in for the loads. This is my son's first year shooting competitive shotgun, and he's 16 years old, but he's got a favorite load and a favorite choke tube.
Nice.
And, so he's like, I like Federal Top Flight number 8s with this choke, but for 5-stand I'm using Winchester AA 7.5.
You're absolutely speaking Turkish to me right now. So Clover gets it.
It's again, you said a gear junkie. I like the term geardo, so it's guys.
Geardo. I've never heard that, but I'm definitely a geardo for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Google that one up. There's some good old like Global War on Terror memes that came out about geardos, but they have it, and everyone has that passionate thing, and it's cool, like to see dudes that are like that are like that. Some guys are like, I gotta have 124 grain PMC bronze because my 1911 likes it. The shotgun shooters are the same way. Like I'm only going to shoot doves with a number 7, estate cartridge round or shell.
Or we hand load because there's certain wads that we like that you can't get.
Yes.
Clover does like shooting his wad. Let's just be honest,
But
Armed Citizens Podcast After Dark.
Oh, it gets dark for sure.
So
you have no idea.
If you step down from the Premier and just go to the Target, there's the 32-inch option. Why?
Yeah, so the Target.
Why one in one and not in the other?
I just don't think we've introduced it yet in the Premier Target line. This is the developing line still for us. We're trying to figure out what products the shooters want. When we looked at the Target gun as opposed to the Premier Target, it was a little more cost effective. So shooters that want it in there, and it's hard to introduce a product with every option and variant available at one time. So we picked the most popular for the Premier line first. But we do understand that there are some shooters that shoot trap that want a 32-inch gun. Maybe it'll come online. Like I said, it's a developing line. It's a young line for us. Neil we're going to NWTF. He's been talking to the guys at Ducks Unlimited. Last year we were at the Safari Club International show. So we're navigating our way and we're finding out what the hunters want, what the competitive shooters want, and adapting. And I like I said, I think that's what lends SDS Imports well to the market right now is we're just not buying something off the shelf. We're making these changes on the fly for customers based on what they want. And if the product demands, I'm gonna backtrack. If the consumers and products demand a feature, we'll do our best, unless it's 357 SIG, 38 Super, or 40 Smith and Wesson.
Right, but a 32-inch target barrel.
Yeah, 32-inch target gun. I can put that on the short list. But if you're like, I want a double stack and 357 SIG, I can't help you.
It's better than the 40 Smith. Let's just be honest, though.
I can't help you.
That 32-inch barrel. I mean, I remember at TriggerCon that like massively piqued my interest because it's kind of a niche thing. Like there are not a lot of companies really doing that. Let me back up. Let me back up in that price range, right? Like,
and that's our
SCTP gun. I'm working with a lot of high schools, a lot of high school teams in Dallas. I'm there every Thursday at Elm Fork and Shooting League. We're working with different coaches all over, but we have a certain program for SCTP shooters to where they can get into that target for a really, really good price, and that's what they want, because that longer sight picture that you have with the longer barrel, the balance of that longer barrel, you know, especially
swing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's what we were going for, which and like Jared said, on the Premiere, you're going to see that. But the target, we kind of hit the sweet spot on first, because honestly, because that price point, it piqued a lot of people's interest, just like yours.
Ghost, are you the one controlling the site?
Yeah, what's up?
Scroll down just under that main picture, and I think you can see the target that we're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, let me bring that up for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So 949.
That 949. That's phenomenal.
With the 32-inch barrel too.
There you go, boys and girls. 949. Let me get that full picture right there. There we go. Nice.
And you're not losing any features. It's just not color case hardened like the Premier, but same mechanical triggers, Bach locks, you know, action. So it's still a feature-rich shotgun. But like I said, we're trying to fill that void that was left by some companies that decided either let's make it really cheap and lack a lot of features, or and I'm not saying that, you know, spending $3,000 on a shotgun is wrong. But there are some people that just, you know, they want to test the waters, and I think we give them a great option.
I think personally spending $3,000 on a shotgun is wrong, but that's just me. No.
Depends on the shotgun. Totally depends on the shotgun.
No, I get it.
No, it's there's different.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I
was just gonna say the only issue I've got, which I mean for a shotgun is a minor issue, you deal with it all the time, is the length of pull. And I'm curious because Snob has the field. Snob's out there, I know, in the chat. So I'd be curious.
Which one do you have, Clove?
I've got the Target. I've got the one you're looking at.
Okay.
And then Snob's got the field. And I'd be curious to know what he thought about the length of pull. I don't think he mentioned it in his video that I recall. But that's something that can be rectified.
But he also has like normal length arms too, though. So
well, this is true. Yeah, no.
I mean, in all seriousness, you know, Clover and I are not blessed with,
and that's why I say it's not. Arms, that's something very common. You could buy a $3,000 shotgun or a $5,000 or $8,000 or $15,000 shotgun and still have to go have it fitted. So it's like,
I think clay and trap shooters though are going to be a fitted gun anyway. I don't see a lot of them are big on adjustable, you know, butt stocks and things like that. So it's something that even Jeff, we're trying to tackle it, like even offering like a used stock that works with some of the guns, so you can, you know, parents can buy one gun that grows with their kid.
Well, after the youth, work on the midget version and let me know.
The midget. You should, and please feel free to name it the midget, the Clover midget model.
I love product like some of our marketing meetings and sales meetings.
Available in Rusk, Texas.
Yeah. I love when they're like, hey, Jared, you got anything to add? And they look at me and they all collectively sigh because I have
like, oh, we should not ask that question. We should not.
And this time I'm going to stand up and be like, hear me out, guys. Midgets.
There's a whole new market that we just were ignoring this whole time.
Like, yeah.
Is Kyle out there put the Short Kings edition? Yes, the Short Kings edition. Yes. Very well played, sir. Very well played. I know, Clover, like I said, you've got this model right here, the Target, and you've done a video or a couple of videos on it. So what are your since we've got you in the room with them, I know that you've done a video, but what are your quick thoughts for the viewers out there?
But Neil hit all the points just a second ago on it, like for real, when he was talking about, you know, getting these in the hands of, you know, shooting sports kiddos. I mean, there's a reason for that. They're balanced well. They swing smooth. You know, what are the biggest things that you deal with whenever you're looking at, you know, a Blaser, right? $25,000 shotgun, or you're looking at Krieghoff, you're looking at these high dollar things, or even the Italian stuff, right? That's in the several thousands of dollars. The hands-on like fit and finish is like what makes it a huge difference. And one of the things with this one that I noticed right away, because I've got several Turkish made over and unders, and this one right here, the fit and finish on it is leaps and bounds, like out of the box. Oh, it comes with an actual case as well, which all over and unders should. But right out of the case, like the fit and the finish is phenomenal. Like I don't know how much hands-on time is spent, and maybe you guys could speak to that if you know, but it does seem like there actually is some hands-on time where some of the other, I guess, budget-minded, you could call it, over and unders out of Turkey, they're a little clunky. I mean, you kind of got to take them down and polish, and you kind of got to do your own elbow work, put a little elbow grease to it or whatever.
I know Jeff searched high and low to find the right over and under manufacturer, and he really put in the legwork and the time and the effort to get to know the different manufacturers and see who was going to listen to him a little bit. And I know he spent a lot of time with them and went over with fine-tooth combs, and they really do put a lot of handwork into a lot of it, making sure it's got the right cuts. The barrels are not serialized to fit with the frames. It's all serialized.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They are hand fit because the barrel and the action are both serialized.
You can tell it. You can tell it when we go to shows and you try and put the wrong fore end on like another Premier target, and you're like, "This ain't working."
Well, that answers a question that Scott had. Scott wanted to know earlier if you were going to be able to change out barrels. That just answered that question right there.
On these guns, I don't think so. I know in the future there may be a model that we offer that has like the single, trap barrel with the, an over/under version. Like I'll say it again. This is a developing brand for us. It's one that there's a lot of guys in the company that are super passionate about this brand, so we're excited to see where it goes. And a lot of companies right now are abandoning marketing guns to youth programs because of legislation. And I hate to say it, we're leaning forward into this. Youth shooters are the next generation of the 2A community, and if we're not going to support them, I love it. And seeing Neil out doing what he's doing, my son, at Clemson University shooting next to the college squad, even though he's in high school. And even then, Tim's our CEO, his kid is shooting these guns competitively. So it's been fun to see some guys that, maybe not have been involved in this kind of sport, to see how it's even pulling us as a company into new avenues.
Well, it's interesting you said that, because Clover for many years had a podcast strictly on youth shooting. He's a former youth 4-H instructor.
Had a lot of Clemson team members, as a matter of fact.
Clemson, but it was called the Next Generation Podcast of all things. So it's kind of cool you brought that up.
Yeah, thanks COVID for crushing that.
Right. Calaveras, real quick, $5 super chat. He didn't say anything in there, so that sucks. He said what he wanted to say below, but I'm not reading that. You had your opportunity, bro. No, I was kidding. Defense Dad's thinking, when I first heard the company Spandau, I thought Spandau Ballet, which was I wouldn't say a great band, but it had a really famous song back in the late 70s, early 80s. But he said he's got Spandau Ballet songs stuck in his head now. That's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted. We have, you guys might not know this, but we have our own traveling air band named Air Supply, and we do play a lot of Spandau Ballet. So we're looking for a new drummer if anyone's interested, by the way. All right. We brought up Spandau. Let's go back. Who do you want to talk about next? You guys, before we go this, obviously Military Armament Corp, MAC, you got Tisas, you got Tokarev, and now you're bringing in the double stack. So you've got a bunch of different brands here. Anything in particular you want to start with now? I know people are wanting to hear about the MP5, the MAC 5, if you will, and we can hold that off a little bit, but where do y'all want to go next?
Man, it's really up to you guys. I think, post SHOT Show, every brand has got like great things happening right now.
Yeah, let's just start at the top and start with Tisas then. How about that? That's pretty.
So Tisas, we came out with a lot of new stuff at SHOT Show. The double stacks, super anticipated, the PX9 carry. For me, this brand has been a lot of fun because it's a brand that's been around for a long time that a lot of people didn't realize who they were, or what they were capable of, or even what they were doing. It was just another imported brand for a long time. And last year at SHOT Show, we decided, hey, Tisas, you don't need to be under an importer's banner anymore. You guys deserve the global recognition. And outside of the U.S., Tisas is huge. For you guys that pay attention to like international, industry defense companies, Tisas is in that top tier. So to see the guns that they're making and the way they've listened to us, like I said, I mean, everyone's stoked on them. So
yeah, once again, it's nice to hear that you guys have a relationship where you're not just importer exporter. You guys are going to have input, whether it's design input or upgrade input or just input in general to the design of what they're manufacturing. A lot of companies, like you said before, a lot of companies are just going to make it, say, here it is, take it or leave it. And that's a good partnership,
The way that they've worked with us, it started like last year. We had like the U.S. Army, we had the PX9s. The Bantam 1911 was ahead of its time for the company. We machined it. It had gorgeous machining, a limited run product. That was like the turning point where Tisas flexed their muscle and said, we can make whatever you guys want. And then now, everyone's like, what happened to the Bantam? And I'm like, it's going to come back eventually. We're going to make it better. We're going to make it way better than it was the first time. But with the D10s, the Desperado and Regulator, and some of these limited run lines, and then of course with the double stacks, and even the PX9 Gen 3, that polymer striker fire pistol, everyone is catching up. We didn't require half-inch tall sights to use optics on a pistol. It co-witnessed with standard sights. Didn't use a $60 or $50 magazine. It used a $30 magazine that's been out for a long time. Yeah. So we put a lot in there. We're working on holster manufacturers for that gun.
That's the biggest issue that I find with bringing in guns through importers and all that, is it takes a little while for the holster game to kind of catch up with the new guns. And I get it, but it's what it is.
Globally, those guns are in use by police and government agencies around the world, the PX9. Yeah. But again, U.S. shooters were appendix carriers, we have that weird, I'm not going to say weird because I'm going to get beat up next show, but we just have we're very particular about how we do certain things. And it's hard to get one company or even 5 companies to make it in a configuration that everyone's happy with.
Yeah.
So, Tisas is man, I think it's set up for a big year. 2024 with the double stacks. Is going to be huge. So I think the term Turkinelli with, Turkish made shotguns was like, I used to hang my head like, and so Turcado, like that's one that's trending. And I'm like, you dirt bags, like now I got to make a patch and a sticker and t-shirts.
Well, you need to be doing that anyways, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but it's cool that, we went from a company that, and even a product where a lot of people used to be like, I'm surprised these are as good as they are, to now people are like, I'm not surprised you guys did what you did with the double stacks. And so
absolutely,
it's really cool.
A lot of people are asking about MAC. So let's go to MAC real quick. Military Armament Corporation. Obviously big year for MAC. You got the 1014 series and I have found through my experience of putting the first video out with the 1014 is people that watch my stuff either think that I'm an absolute idiot or they have zero sense of humor. So I'll have to do a follow up, but no, the 1014 is a great shotgun. Obviously, several different models in that, but like you said, you came out with the double stack. And you've got all sorts of stuff, and obviously you have the MAC 5 and the MAC 5K that's coming down the line eventually. Let's talk real quick because it kind of is the year of the double stack. Let's kind of look at the double stack 9mm that you guys came. I got a chance, and Clover did too. Got a chance to shoot it at range day and at Wolverine and all of that. So really, really fun to shoot that. But let's kind of talk about some of the features of this one real quick.
So the Mac 9 DS is really the culmination of about 2 years of research and development internally in the company. Double stack 1911s, you know, it's an American thing. It's a gun that we wanted.
Definitely is.
And could we have done it sooner and faster? Yes, but we wanted to make sure that one, it had that industry compatibility. So if you wanted to upgrade it, modify it, you had an opportunity to do so. But we also wanted to do it with the Tisas core principles: no cast, no MIM. So getting this product right and getting it the way we wanted it to be at the price point took a little bit longer than I think even us internally wanted it to happen. You know, we saw a lot of our competitors come out with actually more expensive products using inferior components, and we decided, no, we're going to do it right. So QPQ finish on the metal, bull barrel, which is a new thing for Tisas in the US market, full length guide rod. I don't think we're ever going to make everyone completely happy with optics cuts, because they're almost like holsters nowadays, where I'm an RMR guy, I'm an Arco guy, I'm a RMSC guy. So this one gets So this one is an RMR adapter plate. We're going to offer additional plates in the future. Dovetail sights. The rear sight on the adapter plate is Glock compatible, so you're going to have a lot of aftermarket options there. Internally, we've tested these with a lot of aftermarket parts that are meant for other double stack 1911s, and they're compatible with triggers, grip modules, minor fitting required. Let me throw that caveat in there with anything 1911 or 2011 style, you know, but it's a gun, you know, and we put a full length rail on it so you can put your X300. So you duty guys, and I even had a sheriff already, you know, he's like, man, I bought one of these for duty, threw my light on it, put it right in my existing 2011 holster, and it fit perfectly, and the gun runs like a top. So we're super excited about this one. This one is a little bit dressed up compared to the Tisas versions, but I put it on Instagram a couple days ago. It's everything you wanted in a double stack or a high capacity 1911 at a price point that makes sense.
Yep. I was just highlighting that price right there. There's been some talk out there real quick about the trigger guard, kind of the square trigger guard. Is this one of the guns that you guys had input in on some of the design? And if so, or even if you didn't, the squared trigger guard, where did that come from?
So, you know, we've always kind of had this idea that we don't want to force people to buy anything proprietary, nothing that's just, so we didn't pick a new magazine. A lot of people speculated that our double stacks were going to use older para ordnance mags, but they're not readily available anymore. They're harder to find. So we made sure it was compatible with STI mags, and our trigger guard shape is close enough to other, you know, double stack 1911 manufacturers that holster compatibility off the gate was available. So we didn't have to wait for the aftermarket. We didn't, with what companies like Atlas are doing and all the companies that are making grip modules for other double stack 1911s, we didn't really see a need to reinvent the wheel and create something new. It's just, let's find that price point that's been ignored and position ourselves right there, not sacrifice anything quality wise. We're not, like I said, there's no cast parts in this. There's no MIM parts that, you know, everything is forged or machined from bar stock or forgings. So yeah, it just, like I said, it's a double stack 1911 that makes sense.
Yeah. And I haven't shot all of them that are out there because everyone's kind of jumped into that pool, but I would say that the squared off, if you will, the squared off trigger guard is kind of becoming a standard in that double stack 1911 game. So for me to sit there and look at it, it looks normal because that's what most of them that I've seen are, you know?
Yeah, the lines for this definitely fit the bill. We're 1911s, round trigger guard.
Absolutely.
I think there are companies that do it well, but when I see a single stack 1911 with the square trigger guard, I still kind of tilt my head and squint, and I'm like, but for the 2011s,
it's more run and gun kind of tactical, which I know Clover loves, don't you, Clove?
Well, anytime you've got a squared off trigger guard and you're running a rail like that, I mean, the squared off trigger guard typically is going to work a lot better for your lights.
It will. Yeah, and especially, and that's what I was saying, because most of the double stack 1911s or 2011s, if you will, they are going to come with that pick rail on the bottom for lights and all of that. And like, you're exactly right, especially the stream lights that I typically run. The button design works really well with a squared off trigger guard. Clove, you haven't said a whole lot. Bring you in here. Talk either the 2011 or anything from MAC right now. Go for it.
I think he covered. I was going to ask about the mags and all, but I think he pretty much covered that. Now Scott out there did have one, so I'll bring his in.
Yep.
So if you use a RMR, do you have to use a plate?
Yeah. So this
one so it's not going to be a direct install onto the front of the slide.
And we did that for two reasons. One, having an optic only on your slide, if you lose your optic for whatever reason, you have no backup sighting system. So the adapter plate allows us to put that Glock dovetail rear sight in there. So if your optic fails or the batteries die or whatever, you still have a backup set of irons on there. And, so the adapter plate for that includes that in there. And that was just kind of that thing. We just didn't want to leave people without a mechanical rear sight in the event of that happening.
I kind of dig that, coming from a guy that is not a big pistol dot guy, right? That's not me. That said, a lot of the guns that I've gotten in the last couple of years either come with optics or optic ready, and most of them you have to take off that rear sight to install the optic. And unfortunately, there are some companies that are doing it, just not real well. But have the optics with like the rear sights built into the optic. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of that either. I would just like either one or the other at this point. But maybe that technology will get better. But yeah, I like the fact that, a lot of people don't like the plates. They like to directly install it to the slide. I get that. But having those rear sights basically permanently there, I think is a pretty cool thing. So well done. That's my opinion. So
yeah. The optics cuts are like always that thing. We can't please everyone all the time.
Yep.
We can only make a system that works well for everyone. And so for the MAC gun, it was an optics plate with a sight integrated into it that was replaceable or removable. That way, so if you didn't like a black serrated rear that I think is included with those, you could put tritium on the back so you could get
which I love, by the way. I am a blacked out rear serrated sight guy, so that's just me. So well done. Like I said, well done.
We made somebody happy.
It's just, unfortunately, it's just me. So it is what it is.
In my journal right now.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Defense Dad's on his phone. One person you made happy. Yeah. Defense Dad's out there on his phone. He says, "Are those high-rise sights?" He can't really see on his phone. So.
No, these
they don't look it to me. So
I'm not going to say they're suppressor height sights. They may be a little bit higher than like standard sights, but
they're not suppressor yet. Okay.
We're not putting 1/2-inch sights on your gun to make it co-witness, because if you design things right and you make the cuts right, you shouldn't need to do that.
Okay, so Clover was there. Was it a couple of years? I don't know. I was shooting a pistol at a range day, and when I see it was a TriggerCon. Yeah, it was TriggerCon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And it was so interesting because I kept missing low. Like, what the hell? And I found myself way low, right? But I found myself trying to absolute co-witness the front sight with the dot on the pistol. Once again, I don't like dots on pistols, and there's a reason why. I don't have a lot of experience with them. And so I'm shooting this, and because it had the suppressor sight, the suppressor size length sights in the front, my mind just assumed, this is to co-witness this sight, and it wasn't. So I get it, but like I said, I'm not a big dot guy, but it is what it is. Let's go over here to the elephant in the room. We want to talk about the 1014 series before we go to the MAC 5s.
I think I said it earlier. Even as SDS Imports, we brought in some other clones of popular shotguns, you know,
Yeah.
that evolved into what is now the MAC 2 and the MAC 1014.
Yeah.
And that was based off user feedback. We wanted a shotgun that was 1-to-1, so you could use any aftermarket parts that were available. There are some stacking tolerances with some aftermarket manufacturers that we're still kind of dealing with, but we're making changes to those to make sure that we have that there. But the biggest thing for the MAC shotguns, Agency Arms is using these now to build their line of tradesman shotguns.
Oh, nice.
So okay, you can say what you want about Turkish import shotguns, but a company that's worked with Sage Dynamics, Ronin Tactics, for them to take our MAC shotguns and say we can build a pretty badass shotgun with them, said a lot. And that was one thing.
I love the 1014. I absolutely have had a blast with it.
So
are the
for me to say that about a shotgun's rare. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
You know,
are the chokes still mobile choke? And
yes,
Benelli Mobile. I hate to say it's the industry standard, but I think if you're going to look for an affordably priced choke tube system, that's the one you're going to get the most bang for your buck for.
Well, especially if you're having them custom made too. But what about the thread pattern on the tube?
On the magazine tube?
Yeah, it's 1-for-1 right now.
Yeah, 1-for-1.
Our buddy Ginger out there, John, with GOA, also with fully loaded reviews out there, says, I heard Adam has run a ton through the 1014. So, a little smart ass out there. Metric. I want to see this slowly. A metric truck ton, because I would have said another word. I'm not very smart.
Yeah,
Adam is an unsung hero of T&E. He spends a lot of time at the range shooting guns, and I'll see some of the videos. And Adam's shoulders, they've seen some things.
I would imagine
1,000 more tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right, the elephant in the room, the MAC 5s. Obviously, I'm an MP5 junkie. That's, to me, and people that know me and been around me long enough know that the MP5 since 1994 has been my favorite platform that I've ever shot, ever, in my opinion, ever created. And as much as I would like to admit that there have been some decent clones coming the last couple of years, I have yet to see one that I have shot and handled that it was at this price point that actually ran. So kudos. Let's talk about, I know they're not out yet, and we can talk about maybe in a little bit when those might be in production and ready to go. But having shot them at range day and at Wolverine with the binary was even more amazing.
Binary triggers were pretty sweet.
They were sweet.
Those were what, Franklin Armory, Adam?
Yeah.
Were they? Okay. But let's talk about, first of all, how long was this in the making, and like how hard was it to decide to get into this project?
Not hard at all. So even me being with some of the guys that are involved in this company for over a decade and other areas, we've all been MP5 junkies. I've made the joke that one of the founding partners of SDS, his catcher in the rye is an MP5. Like if there was a great deal on an MP5, he bought it. And so we've always kind of had that thing. And even me myself, you know, I've had the opportunity to own some pretty cool MP5s through the years, SDs, and, you know, having an SOT and FFL, you get post samples and, you know, play with some pretty cool MP5s. This project, though, I think Neil, it was like 3 weeks before SHOT. Me and Neil, we had a plan for SHOT Show. We had these projects that we were like, hey man, we're gonna do these double stacks. We had pre-marketing plans. We walk into the office like mid-December, and they're like, hey guys, we're bringing MP5s to SHOT Show, and we're like, what?
Guess what we got?
What? And
not only we're bringing the shot, we're going to bring them for people to shoot. Oh,
yeah, no. So this one kind of fell on our lap. We were very fortunate. to have an opportunity to work with the manufacturer of these. And they're like, hey, we've got some guns. You guys want to import them to the U.S. market? We'd love to get our guns in the U.S. market. And I think a lot of companies, importers, especially manufacturers overseas, they see what we've done with Tisas and MAC and Tokarev, and they understand they're going to get more value out of just a company that's just going to buy their guns. And, MP5 clones have been imported by a who's who over the years. And I've owned several of them from many other manufacturers. So to have this kind of, so to have this opportunity kind of fall in our laps was, it was, you guys.
Well, like I said, I showed up to range day, and when you see them sitting there, you're just like, I mean, I'm just naturally drawn to them. Like I said, I was a 19-year-old E2 the first time I got to work with an MP5. And ever since then, like I said, it's 1994. It's just one of those things where I don't care what it is. If it's something that even resembles, like one of my favorite guns ever is one of those old GSG 5s, the old 22 LR, MP5 looking things. It's fun as hell to shoot. But to me, anything that just even looks like an MP5, I'm just naturally drawn to it. I think it's a phenomenal weapon system. And like I said, this one for, MSRP of $1,099, that's a game changer. That's something that's going to send ripples through the industry. Probably, you probably pissed off several other companies. Congratulations! You've made it when you pissed off a bunch of companies.
I don't think that. I don't even want to say pissing them off, because I still have respect for a lot of guys. Anyone that's trying to make a living in the gun industry, you're doing it the hard way. You're really putting yourself through. I hope it fosters more innovation. I hope that we see aftermarket companies, do it. I think there's market share out there for everyone, but the MP5 market is one that's kind of untapped. I know the pistol brace thing is going to be kind of wishy-washy, and we're navigating our way through that.
I'm covered by GOA and FPC right now, so I don't give a damn.
I hope next year at Christmas time, I see people on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter or whatever it may be. They're watching Die Hard with a Mac 5, and they got their dress shoes underneath the Christmas tree, running around barefoot. I hope it happens. I'm excited about these.
So I'm assuming you're taking that Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Are we taking that stand?
Is without a doubt. I will even say that Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie.
Yep.
So those guys, I'm sorry, there was Christmas gifts and Christmas lights in both movies. Christmas.
More importantly, the plot of Die Hard does not happen except for at Christmas.
Shut up, Clover.
You can't have the Christmas party at the Knox-Coney Plaza.
And if you remember the FBI cutting power and not wanting to cut power because it was the holidays, and that whole debacle was part of the plan.
Yeah, Johnson & Johnson just had to do it.
They're taking this way too deep. Just,
the only issue I had is this is an MP5 clone, and that was an HK94. But hey,
it was a 94, but to be made look like an MP5,
right?
But yes. John out there says new pistol brace case was filed today. Fantastic.
So, on the pistol thing, I mean, if somebody, that's kind of pretty much shelved at this point. A lot of legal analysts say it will be for years and years and years. We're not going to have to worry about it. But if one was so inclined that they required, for whatever reason, a pistol brace, what type of
single point sling, baby?
Well, does these have that capability? Is that in the works to make it a capability?
So right now the Mac 5 pistols are.
You can look at it right there. You can set up a sling right there on the butt right there and run it as a sling. Yeah.
So we even put them on. We don't even have the guns for sale yet, but we started putting accessories for these on the website, and we have the KSE tail hooks. Okay. So if you just wanted a flat piece, it's not a buttstock. So, but they have like things like that are there. So any aftermarket parts are going to work for these. I saw a comment that was like, is the muzzle device suppressor ready? Yeah, these come with a tri-lug and 5x28 threads.
Yep. Where's the Mac shop? I see him looking for it.
What's that?
Looks like he's,
all
there you
the
go,
all the
Mac
parts
gear.
and accessories are on
The gear side. Here we go.
There's the Mac 2 now.
So
That's pretty sweet.
So yeah,
Not gonna
these
lie.
guns, and we're gonna have OEM magazines that I think are going to be at a price point that is going to make people happy. So we're not just making a product. We're going to give you guys parts and accessories, and I think Midwest Industries has already been like, let us deck one of these guns out for you guys. So yeah, there's the tail hooks that we have already in stock for them, and Gearhead Works makes a lot of attachments to go on the end of that guy. So if you wanted a buttstock, a brace adapter, they make that for that. So
Absolutely.
pick and choose what you guys want it to happen and what we want to put on there.
Your charm to hang off the side of it. Sticker kids. Oh wait, Call of Duty.
You know, seriously. So my daughter is getting married next month, and her fiance has never shot guns, and he wants to so bad with me next time he comes up. Every time he comes up, they come up here, I always go down the range and shoot. But his biggest thing is because of Call of Duty. And you know, I used to make fun of that, but until like I've got a 27-year-old guy that wants to shoot guns in real life because of what he's seen on Call of Duty. If Call of Duty and all of these games actually bring people, the younger generation, to firearms, it almost kills me to say this, but bring it on, you know?
It's an entry drug.
Yeah, 100%.
It's kind of, so my son, you know, like 2 years ago, he's like, Dad, I want to shoot guns competitively. And me being in the gun industry since 2010, I'm like, dude, I got you. And I'm like, run into the gun safe. I'm like, I can give you a Glock 19, you know, an AR. And he's like, I want to shoot competitive shotguns. And I'm like, I know nothing about this sport.
You're like, oh,
so
crap.
even for him being a video game kid where he could have been like, Dad, I want a Honey Badger or an MP5.
Sure. Or a P90
like,
or something, you know?
He's like, I want an over-under shotgun. And I was like,
that's interesting,
what?
To say the least.
So to have you say that, and it's weird where that journey will guide them from a video game. They could be like, you know what, I want a 240 Bravo with, you know, 200 rounds.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want a Bravo? Let's just be
Belt.
honest, you know.
Or they could be like, you know what I really want? I want an elephant gun. I want to go shoot elephants in Africa. Or it could be a Mac 5. It could be an MP5 because they love the movie Die Hard.
Yeah. Whatever brings them here, bring it on, you know. Let's whatever it takes, bring them on. Let's go back here. Do we have any idea? I'm sure that question's been out there or will be out there. Any idea of when possibly we're looking at the Mac 5s coming in?
So right now, a lot of the products at SHOT Show, the double stacks are shipping now from Mac and Tisas. I'm just going to generalize this because anytime you're bringing things from over the ocean, March is kind of our projected ship dates for a lot of these models.
That's not bad.
Follow us on social media. We post daily. We'll let you know. And you know, even like you guys that want to do reviews on stuff, I don't have the samples yet to hand them out to everyone, but you guys will know too. I'll be like, hey guys,
absolutely.
Here's a sample. Let's drum up some publicity ahead of launch. But I think March is what we're kind of targeting for a lot of these.
That's awesome. And especially since, you know, last year, I know there was a lot of issues with the ATF and the State Department when it came to imports. That's always a nightmare that most people don't even realize happens, you know?
A lot of times it could be, they can look at one gun and because you put it at 28.6 ounces on the paperwork and they weigh it and it weighs 28.4, form denied. And you're like, you know, so it is it's a lot of bureaucracy. Our compliance.
Now, if you would take off the rubber pick rail packing material that like some people don't, like I don't, you know, if you would have taken that off, that might have taken you the 0.2 ounces, just saying, you know?
Yeah. It could be a number of things. The font changed on the label and they're like denied. That's and you got to resubmit. So, but we're grateful that our import partners are willing to put up with a headache too. Like, you know, so.
Let's talk Tokarev. Tokarev USA. I know. Now we might have to like not bring Adam into this, as he may not know much about the Tokarev line.
Nothing. Adam knows
nothing at all. Yeah.
Who's
The
that? guy?
Tokarev
Yeah, I don't
line
even-
is something that I
I can't get in
really
here.
enjoy. They're I'm gonna look through some of these models, but the Tokarev line is kind of more up. Spandau's definitely more like up Clover's line, right? The Tokarev is definitely more up my line, a little more tactical. I love me some bullpup shotguns and all that. I've got a beautiful, I will just call it patriotic one sitting right over here that we'll be getting to the range on Thursday. So be looking this weekend for that video. One of the coolest things, and I don't want to like bring up Matt and make him get a big head, but one of the coolest things I saw at SHOT Show, I think Clover would probably agree, was Matt's graffiti based bullpup, which was pretty
Sticker
badass.
bomb. Sticker
Matt,
bomb. Right?
sticker bomb.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't want to give him a big head, but it
He's
is
got a
what it
big
is.
enough one as it is.
Right. So let's bring up the bullpup, just because first of all, you're going to notice that right there. That's pretty amazing right there. But for people that like the more tactical shotguns, let you guys talk through the line. I'm going to keep this picture up, but we'll go through the whole line if you will, if you want to, at Tokarev, and whatever you're talking about, I'll bring up on the screen. How about that? That might make it easier.
So Tokarev, like you said, we've always been asked, like, what is Tokarev? Are they home defense shotguns? Are they competition shotguns?
Yes.
They're just fun shotguns.
Mhm.
Like, they're just fun. We kind of looked at, why can't guns just be fun again? Like, so maybe Tokarev is for guys that just like an AR style looking shotgun or a pump shotgun. I always said it, like, my favorite shotgun to go shoot pumpkins with is the TBP-12. It's a bullpup. Is it practical in any sense? Is a police department going to order 10,000 of these? Probably not. But if
No,
you
I tell you what they
really
are
want
great for.
it-
They are great for CQB in a real way.
Mhm.
And a CQB junkie like me, they are great for CQB.
Yeah, I call shotguns room brooms a lot, and I'm probably going to get in trouble with that by legal at some point. But room broom, good name. So, but no, they're just fun guns, and they're priced where guys can get back out to the range with their friends, their buddies, and just have some fun with them. And they work. Gaines and Adam have taken this brand. Again, you take, everyone's like, oh, Turkish shotguns, blah blah blah. But they've taken this brand and elevated it to a company, shotguns. Hey, they take a really reliable magazine, the 1919 pattern magazine, super reliable for 3-gun shooters. Or like they fit in 308 mag pouches. So a lot of soft 308 mag pouches, the magazines drop right in. 2-round mags
awesome.
up to 20-round drums are available. We stop at 10-round mags just because we think that that's like the best bang for buck in practical senses, especially for competition shooters. But we've really kind of taken it and feedback and colorways. We can do a lot with this brand. Not really up the price, so people are getting some fun guns for money. And the TT-12, that's the new one for this year.
Yep.
We're like, this is AK shotguns is what SDS Imports is known for. This gun right here should be probably the most prolific gun and 3-gun in the next year or two. I think when we really start pushing it, Adam has made sure it takes AR butt stocks, AR pistol grips. The gas system that Gaines designed that we're running in this will run the dirt cheap 7/8 ounce loads from Walmart reliably. I don't think I'm a good fast shooter, but if you looked at the picture that was on the website, like, I can run splits on this gun that even blow me away. Like, I don't think I'm a fast shooter, but this gun right here, I can run some bullets out of this gun.
That's a pretty cool picture, by the way. Whoever did that picture, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's good looking. Like I said, I like the fact that you guys went down to make sure that different stocks can fit, different grips. Everyone has their own kind of favorite brand of grips, whether it's Magpul or whatever. But knowing that most of them are going to fit this, they can kind of customize it how they want. But you're talking about right out of the box.
I'm missing something about this gun though that I haven't mentioned. Ambi controls. It's got fully Ambi controls.
Oh, okay.
Safety,
Yeah, sure.
magazine release, and bolt catcher full Ambi. So we took everything that an AR shooter would like. So if you have an AR and this shotgun and your double stack 1911, you're going to run with a really similar manual of arms. So this gun, and what is the case of guns called, Adam?
Huh? Oh,
the
Project
Tokarevs
Badass?
that you've got. Project Badass, yeah. So
Project
he's got a case of these
Badass.
shotguns that he has customized to the hilt. Strike Industries, folding butt stocks. He won't share them with anyone, but it is what it
I'll
is.
let anybody that wants to spiel. I'm trying to hold myself back from going into my spiel, but you covered most of it.
Do it, Adam. This is your talk, man.
All right, so the TAR and TVP, those molds have been around for a while, and the one thing that is a curse word in our world is proprietary. So Gaines took 2 years of his life to design this TT12 from the ground up to be able to be customized. And like Jared said, you take one bolt out the back, you've got a mil-spec buffer tube on the back that you can put any AR stock on.
That's
you
awesome.
can take that mil-spec buffer tube off and then throw you a adapter on it and put you a SIG folding stock on it, whatever you want. And then takes different AR style grips. We're working on a couple different models you might be seeing in the next 3 to 4 months. That's going to look a little different because this gun runs great. It's got a dual gas system in it that will bleed off the extra gas and keep what you need. So in the words of Gaines, it'll run powder puff loads up to dynamite sticks and not have to adjust it, because there's a lot of AR styles out there for the 3-gun where you got to find that nice fine world between your buckshot and your birdshot, and then you've got to find the right ammo. Well, this thing you can throw slugs, buck, bird in the same magazine and just run it all day long, and it'll just eat it. And like Jared said, you can run this thing fast. I've been playing with some upgraded triggers and stuff, trying to outrun it. I can't break this.
Well, I mean, I want that job. What's your job? I try to break guns by running them so much. That would be amazing.
Well, it's gone a couple of iterations. It's been a fun ride the last 3 years, that's for sure. And the owners have graced me with the ability to stick around, even though they should have probably got rid of me a few times. But I finally made it to product manager for now. So
there you go. G23 wants to know if it's suppressor ready. I don't remember this being suppressor ready, but I might be wrong about that.
Is the TT12 suppressor yet? Yes, it is. I've run Salvos on it. I've run JK Armament suppressors. We've had a couple of them. We were running suppressors at the industry day. I'm pretty sure you ran maybe 1 or 2 of them.
It wasn't a TT12 though that I ran the suppressor. It wasn't on.
We had it on like a 1014, but that was the thing about the TT12.
Yes.
People were blown away because when it started raining this year, the rainwater was falling perfectly on the gas system of this shotgun.
Oh, it started steaming up,
and it still ran. People were like, "How's it run?" And we're like, "Well, the rain is pouring on it," and they'd pick it up and it'd just be like, You're just like, there's the lit. It was this year at Range Day, it was one of the best litmus tests for people that doubted. They're like, well, how do these guns run? And there's mud everywhere. Rainwater was like in the worst possible places, and the guns just perform.
So, we talk about every year Range Day always seems to have the shittiest weather day of the entire week. It's just on that Monday.
It's a curse.
But for finding out whether guns can run in like the worst conditions, like you got sand blowing everywhere because it's blowing 40-mile-an-hour wind. You've got, rain coming in. Everything that could go wrong could go wrong. But it is a good kind of, like you said, a good litmus test to find out, can these things handle like pretty bad conditions? So there you go.
And that's kind of our biggest hurdle right now. That's the hardest thing we're getting over, is that we're not just another Turkish gun. We're not just another Turkish shotgun that's cheap and not going to run and hardly going to feed or whatever the stigmata is. It's there, but I've had a lot of people become quick believers once they start getting behind the trigger on one.
Yeah, no.
You didn't say believer, did you? You said believer.
Believer.
A lever action shotgun. Let's bring it on next time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I knew that would get Clover. I knew that would wake him up.
What are we talking
It is
about?
the year of the lever action. A lever action shotgun would be pretty sweet. Let's go. Bring it on.
Don't
Anyways, go ahead,
give
Adam. Go
these
ahead,
guys
Jared.
any more ideas.
That looks like this one though.
Yeah, an AR tactical lever action shotgun would be like the game changer of all game changers.
Box mag fed lever action tactical shotgun.
Snap.
Just saying.
We're just spending your guys' money. That's all we're doing here. We're just spending your money.
Got a really good magazine we could use for that.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I feel it coming. SHOT Show 2025.
No, we got
we'll have it ready by NRA.
We got NRA. Yeah. April's not that far away.
Well, that's right. You guys got the MP5 like 2 weeks out. You know, it's like not a problem. You know.
Hey, this is SDS. We do things quick.
That's what she said.
I've been married so long. That's not what she said. Like,
trust me,
you don't do it at all.
In April will be 28 years. Holy shit. 28 years.
Did you get married in basic training?
I got married when I was 21 years old. So I've been in for a couple years at that point. I went in when I was 19 and got married, and then had my daughter a year later. Yeah,
we do have that.
Making $12,000 a year back then in the Marine Corps, man. $12,000 a year. That was, man, those were the days, man. We were living large. Anyways, yeah. Ginger says, I think August would be a better time to launch that. Yeah, I bet he would for obvious reasons he can't talk about yet.
No, we can't. So I'm shutting up.
Yeah, exactly. Clove, bring you in here. I know we've been talking some tactical shotgun shit. I don't know. You're talking about mixed emotions, you know.
So I don't know if we're ready to move on or not, but
isn't push us to move on. Yeah, we can move on for you.
Well, isn't Tokarev the Titan and Hammer?
Yes, so we've got the Titan and Hammer that came out this year.
Which one do you want to see first? A Titan or a Hammer? Shotgun. Let's go the Hammer, the pump. Let's go the pump. And pretty sweet. Look at that price, folks. Look at that. $179.99.
You know, polymer furniture, completely Mossberg compatible. Super line of accessories coming out. We've got +1 extensions, heat shields, rear ghost ring sights, bayonet lug kits where you can throw your bayonets.
Really? That's pretty sweet.
That sounds
so Adam did, you know, so these were guns where we've had like pump guns and some auto guns, but you spent like $400 or $500 on a shotgun and then you'd have to accessorize it. So why not give people an entry point into a shotgun that you could have all the accessories for to do what you wanted with without having to buy them from the get-go. So like Adam said, there's going to be a whole list of accessories that are going to be available for these guys. So you can pick and choose, you know, parts and accessories that are going to go on these. So it's an entry-level gun that's got a lot of potential, and it's built just like the TX3 and some of the other guns are on.
Yeah.
And the semi-auto version has got a gas system that was fun seeing Adam test that one. So to tweak it and get it right, Adam would come in and be like, "We're close, but not there yet." And he'd go back out the next day with 1,000 rounds, you know, and be like, "We're closer." And you could see, you know, his facial expression every day from just shooting thousands of rounds through these to get them right.
I love that gun though. That gun runs and it's comfortable. Yeah. We did so we took our semi-auto and I said, "Hey, I want it Mossberg compatible on the furniture." So we did the butt stock where you can throw Mossberg furniture on the back of it. You can upgrade it to your Magpul. We did do a proprietary 4-end though, but I tried to make it very comfortable and slick. And
4-end, not foreskin. People just don't get excited out there. 4-end.
But it's going to have, you know, it comes with a fixed choke barrel, you know, in there, but you're going to be able to put interchangeable choke tube barrel, hunting barrels. So I remember back in the day, you could get like an 870 back in the day for like $300 with, you know, one configuration, but you could buy barrels, handguards, and customize it. And you'd have one shotgun that, you know, this is my home defense shotgun, swap the barrel. You're going to go squirrel hunting.
Yeah, you could have 3 shotguns in one if you wanted to.
Yeah. So I've got a laundry list of barrels, upgrades. I'm taking suggestions because I know Jared brings me about 2 or 3 a week.
28 gauge
about flashlights.
28 gauge.
You like how Clover just threw that one in there. I'm surprised he didn't go gentleman's gauge, 16 gauge.
Yeah.
Now, Adam,
someone's
you
going to
said
be like
that
lever action 28 gauge magazine fed suppressor.
over under probably.
Over under. Like,
I don't even know if that is physically possible, but that would be kind of cool as shit, you know. Now, Adam, you said that you talked to them and said, "Hey, I want to do this, make this kind of Mossberg compatible." Once again, being able to talk with the manufacturers and have an input and all that. How long when you said, "Hey, I want this to be Mossberg compatible," how long till you got your first prototype saying, "Here it is"?
About 2 weeks.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
That's part of the relationship with these guys, because I give them everything I can as far as everything they need. I try to be there to help them, and they do the same for me.
Sure. We've
really got a good working relationship to where, you know, I understand the world of manufacturing. That's where I started and cut my teeth in. I'm a machinist by trade, not so much of this sales and marketing background. So I try to lean on Jared and Neil, the other team.
The 3D Adam with the 3D printer is.
I got so much cool shit coming. Sorry.
Adam
no one will see except for you, but it's cool shit.
He's got like muzzle brakes and parts and pieces. And so when you walk by Adam's office, or even the R&D,
so you're saying he's like the Bat Cave. He's got all these cool tools.
The Bat Cave.
And even the R&D cave, they lock the door, but you can pop the door with a knife. And so you will you'll hear sounds emanating from the R&D lab, and you're like, you pop the door open, and Adam has just got like 3D printed parts, and he'll be like, "What do you think?" And we'll be like, "Yeah, no, change this." And then you come back the next day, and Adam's like already made the changes, and then like he said, the parts show up. Like they're like, "Okay, let's make it." And it's been cool to see the way that the product managers take these products in real time, almost make these changes, and then me and Neil in marketing, we're like, "Yeah, we can sell this. Like we can market."
That's the cool thing, right? Is how all of this works. Is like, okay, we got some crazy ideas, and then 2 weeks later you get a prototype saying, "Is this kind of what you had in mind?" And then you kind of look at it and say yes, and then say, "Oh, by the way, Jared, you and Neil, you think you can make this sell?" And it's like, I bet you kind of cool. Say, I could sell that. Like, hell yeah, we could sell that. That's kind of cool, because how can you not have fun? Like basically on the fly, just let's have some ideas, spitball, and then 2 weeks later, oh, here it is. Holy cow, this is amazing. I'm sure there's some things that don't work, but I think that'd be kind of cool. I'm not a creative person. I'm not an artistic person at all.
And there's a few of those ideas that came out, and I was like, and Neil's, "Oh crap! How the hell am I going to get this across?"
And some of them,
and I've got a few of them.
So there's a lot of wadded up paper balls in one corner somewhere that and even us, even from marketing, we're
give them the Kel-Tec. Hell, they'll go with anything at this point, Sell them the Kel-Tec. Whoever bring you in here, you got anything you want to bring up real quick?
On that, on the Titan. So you were talking about fixed choke barrels. What's the standard, and what are they currently coming with?
It's improved cylinder,
smooth bore cylinder.
Yeah.
So not threaded for any chokes, but the first quick upgrade I want to have is an 18.5-inch Benelli mobile choked barrel.
Oh, okay.
To go like
and then
TX3.
It will probably affect. Any thoughts on wood accessories moving forward?
Well, we are selling the wood yet, Jared, or we're getting that in?
Yeah, no. So it is compatible.
He's like, no.
It is compatible. So the Titan and Hammer are compatible with our current TX3 HD A1 furniture. So we do offer the 4 ends, and I'm going to say honestly, sometimes some of the walnut that we get for our shotguns, I feel like someone messed up, because you pull a box out, like even the MAC shotguns and some of the TX3s with wood stocks, like they're curly and figured walnut stocks. They shouldn't be on a $300 shotgun. Right. So I feel like someone in Turkey, I feel like someone at some point is going to be like, Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have gorgeous wood on some of them, and even we're going through some of the sample guns right now, like getting ready to do a sale with that kind of stuff. But you look at the wood, and you're like, holy smokes, this is nice ass wood.
Yeah.
So, but no, the Titan and hammers, we're gonna have wood buttstocks, other models coming out. But like I said, if wood's not your thing, there's gonna be polymer options as well. But like I said, I think the Titan and hammer are gonna be a system. So, hunting, home defense. You hate 2-liter bottles. You hate pumpkins. You hate clay pigeons.
Right.
It's gonna be a shotgun. You're gonna be able to make your own.
You hate doves. You hate intruders.
I hate doves.
When
They always
doves
fly
cry,
all
man.
weird.
When doves cry. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes here to talk about the channel, the company websites and all. Before we do, we have some fun. We're going to do our pony polls. We have our every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday at 10 a.m. over on our YouTube community tab. We have some fun. We put some polls out there, and they're presented by our good friends over at Anderson Manufacturing. Go check them out. Our first one came in 1.6 thousand votes, guys. I need your help. Real quick, pick one. Aerosmith or Van Halen?
Aerosmith.
I was going to say.
Now, when I say Van Halen, I'm talking Van Halen, not Van Hagar. I'm not a Van Hagar guy. So
yeah,
I forgot he was even
right. Exactly.
I have to say Aerosmith. I attended the 9 Lives tour back in my younger days.
So,
oh man, nice.
I'm going to stick with Van Halen because I actually saw a meme and it was like, if you're old enough to have seen your favorite rock band turn into a grandma, you've gotten to an age. And Steven Tyler has went full grandma mode.
If it wasn't, I think that's why he like glues on the so-called like goatee that he shouldn't have, just so people think that he's a man. It's like the worst goatee ever, but it's like, okay, he's only doing that because he looks like a grandma. I think you're right about that. I'm probably going Aerosmith. Clove, what about you? Aerosmith or Van Halen?
Yeah, Aerosmith.
Yeah, if I had 1.6 thousand votes, 57% say Van Halen, 57 to 43. Yeah, I mean, it can't go wrong either one of them, but I was a little surprised at that. But all right, our next one. This is going to be a tough one for Clover. 1.1 thousand votes. Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms? Adam.
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. Jared, Neil.
Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms.
I mean, does Clover have to go with Lucky Charms? I think he almost has to contractually.
Dude,
Yeah, exactly.
How can
Art stars, rainbows,
like? There's no
marshmallows,
way.
and
Like,
balloons.
how can you like dismiss the marshmallow action there? Come on.
Yeah, like I literally like. As a parent, you're growing up, and your kids are like, well, you can buy Lucky Charms when you're a grown up and you have all your money. I have bought the entire bag of marshmallows.
A bowl. There's nothing like a bowl of slightly sweet little pieces of styrofoam with crunchy little pieces of sawdust.
Yeah,
or Lucky Charms.
See, here in Arkansas, I wait for October 1 because only in the month of October, and here where I live in rural Arkansas, can I get Count Chocula. It's only through the month of October. So Count Chocula, hands down for me, is my favorite. We'll buy like several boxes of it just because I know that I can only get it during October. So
don't get me started on month restricted foods. We'll start talking about the McRib.
Dude.
Don't do it. Don't. God, you should have brought that up. So Jared, and I know that from now on, if Adam and Clover are gone together, we know they're going to get a McRib.
Yes.
The
I knew they couldn't
nastiest
keep up.
I
knew they couldn't stick to that crap about it's never coming back. It's like, no, it's a marketing thing. You're going to bring it back.
It's all a ploy.
It's so nasty. People have to eat it.
So nasty.
Dude, we did. So I think it was like this year when they came back, we actually had like acrylic sweetheart grips for 1911s come up. And Adam's in his office and I run to our compliance guy, Ryan. I'm like, Ryan, I need you to find me a picture of a McRib right now. And he's like, what? And I'm like, forget all the compliance
grips
stuff.
That would sell like no other.
I need McRib sweetheart grips now. And
if
then we
you
took
could
him
get
into
away
Adam.
with it, that would, you know how many things of those you would sell?
And Adam was like, "Oh my god!" And even in like the CEO were running around the office showing people McRib Sweetheart grips.
Fantastic. Well done.
Hey, I
It
made it
was-
happen. Give me 2 seconds, and I made that happen.
No, it was so good, and it was like, and that was a social media post. We're like, "Hey, we have Sweetheart grips. Be like Adam and show the world what you love most." And I even think your wife was like,
could have
shaking
sold
her
as
head.
many of those as you could have sold as many of those as you wanted to. Let's be honest. Be great.
So that was, oh yeah, oh,
Yeah. 1.1 thousand votes. Pretty close. 56 to 44. Fruit Loops gets the win. Fruit Loops.
I don't buy that. This is rigged.
Now here's a question: do Fruit Loops, do each individual color actually taste differently?
No.
No.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, for all you
To be
Letterkenny
fair.
fans out there. Oh, you're a Letterkenny guy.
Dude. So I actually just got a
Fucking
bottle
pit and
of,
patter, baby. Let's go. Oh, hold on, Adam. Let me bring this up.
That's
Oh my gosh.
awesome.
That's amazing.
McGrip. Love it.
A McGrip. Oh, a McGrip. There it is. That's the name, the
Oh my
McGrip. Neil, can you and Jared sell the McGrip? Yes, you can.
I'm going to have to buy another website tonight.
McGrip.com.
Gosh.
And Clover gets the first set since he came up with the name.
Dear
Well, I
U.S.
had to go home
Trademark and
grab
Patent
it real
Office.
quick, just take a picture with it.
No, that was the worst part he had. Yeah, like, God.
Oh,
yeah,
that might break the internet right there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is awesome.
It did.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I don't even, wow. Our last poll, 2.6 thousand votes. Which do you prefer? And we still, guys, I need free. I know that this is not the smartest channel on the internet. I understand that. But when I say, what do you prefer? I don't need your comments. Well, what's the, I need more context. No, you don't. It's simple. Which one do you prefer? AR-15 or a lever action? So, okay, you can't compare the two. I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm asking you which one you want.
What do you like?
Yeah, Jared, Neil, AR or lever?
Lever action.
Lever.
Yeah.
Lever. Adam?
They are.
Well, I know what Clover's going. Go for it.
What are we, what?
He doesn't even listen. He doesn't even listen. Lever or AR?
I need more context.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's it. That's
How
it.
could you compare the two? I'm not trying to compare the two, idiots.
Yeah, you don't even have to answer that question. Moving on.
Yeah. So I will say this. I'm looking very forward to working with Henry and getting
Yeah, you are.
looking very forward. I'm getting a lever coming in, the mare's leg, which is going to be so badass to begin with. This year is like the year of the levers, though. Have you guys noticed that?
It
Like
is, yeah.
everyone, and I tell you what, I know Clover probably does not like it, but that arrow lever is freaking sweet. That's badass. It's months and months away, but it's amazing looking.
I think that one was better executed than POFs. Like when POF came out, I was like, and I saw the arrows, and I was
But there
like,
has to be the first one through the door, right? POF was the kind of the first one through the door,
yeah.
so you know.
And so you say the mare's leg. So I'm originally from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the mare's leg was born in Avila, Indiana, before Rossi and all them kind of took it. So the gunsmith that originally built those was out of Avila, Indiana.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Go down that rabbit hole. That's a good rabbit hole to kind of check out. But yeah, lever action. I had a lot of fun. I was on a podcast earlier this year, and I was like, I spent a lot of time with a iron sights lever gun in the woods this year, and I had a blast. And
I'm looking forward to it because for me, obviously for my channel, they're gonna like shit themselves like when they say a lever action on the channel. But that said, the mare's leg to me is kind of like the AR pistol, like the truck gun of mare's legs of lever actions. So I think it kind of could fit pretty cool in my audience. But like I've got a friend of mine, I'm gonna have him he makes custom holsters. Aussies might still be out there. We're trying to make a scabbard, if you will, hanging on the back of this front seat of my vehicle. So if I ever need it, it's just right there. It's like a 12.5-inch barreled lever action. and 357. Like, how could that not be amazing? So I can't wait for that. So yeah, obviously ARs are near and dear to my heart, but I'm going to go with lever action myself just because I'm really excited about doing this. 2.6 thousand votes. It's my channel. I get it. If this was on Clover's channel, the results could have been dramatically different. 88% of 2.6 thousand votes were AR. 88% say AR, which is surprising even on my channel. Yeah.
I think we're making this lap. You know, I still make this joke where a lot of guys are like, oh, like magazines are cheap again. I remember buying my first Ruger 1022 mag for $120 because it was during the first assault weapons ban.
Yeah.
But so there's this point where big steel heavy guns were cool.
Yeah.
And then we spent like all this time and we got into smaller polymer guns that held more rounds. And now I see like big steel heavy guns, and lever actions took me by surprise. But I think there's going to be an M1 carbine, an M1A, and like an M1 Garand resurgence where guys just want these big 10-pound semi-autos.
Mm-hmm.
But the lever guns took me by surprise. I was like,
yeah,
oh, we're at the lever gun section.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest for a minute. If you put 30-06 in a semi-auto rifle, it better be a pretty heavy rifle.
Yeah,
just saying.
that's true.
But that it's. I never thought I would see someone make a all metal Smith & Wesson M&P, but here we are.
But look at cell phones, for example. So huge bricks, smaller. Now everybody goes for the 20 plus or the 23 plus or the whatever.
And I'm rocking an iPhone 13 mini because I don't want a 9-inch screen in my pocket.
You do.
I don't.
You do. I didn't think I would either, but it's now I also, but doing content, this is like, seriously, this is what I film most of my videos with. So having a bigger phone does help in that sense, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Now, John out there, for those of you guys that watch this or listen to this all the time, we talk about Ginger all the time with GOA, this Ginger Soulless Bastard. It's also Fully Loaded Reviews is his new channel, so go check that out. But he's saying he's trying to spend your money, but two, he's trying to get you sued by McDonald's. He said the Mac 1911 with McGrips in 10 millimeter called the Big Bore Mac, the Big Mac. You could sell that.
Yeah, a 10 millimeter.
Comment from Neil back there. He's like, I don't know about that.
No, he's like,
in the box, in the gun box has to have like sesame seeds on top.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Would be amazing.
A distributor exclusive.
Special sauce. It comes with gun oil or something,
I mean, you could do the single stack and call it like the 7-piece, and then have the 17-piece for the double stack. Like,
just saying. Jason out there says, why did the Bantam model go away, and will you bring it back?
So,
no offense, but I guess he's putting you on the spot here.
You're also a little late to the party.
Yeah, a little bit late to the party, but hey, he showed up.
We touched on it fairly.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this, and our sales manager hates it when I say it, but the Bantam I think was the coolest gun we've ever done. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it came at a point where Tisas was known for $350 1911s. So when we released the Bantam, when we released the Bantam at almost $1,100, it had the machine work of the old Nighthawk Recon that they did for AAC, for Advanced Armament back in the day. It had lightning cuts anywhere we could put a lightning cut. They were phenomenally fitted and finished, but people looked at a Tisas and were like, I'm not spending $1,000 on a Tisas. I can't tell you how many people that own them that are like, I can't believe I got this gun for what I got it for. And there was a point where they were on sale because people were just like scoffing at this gun because it was $1,000 Tisas. And I saw gun shops selling them for like $800 and $900, and the people that bought them, they're fanatical about them. So will the Bantam come back? I think so. I think we have some things in store for Bantam 2.0. I'm going to let you. So here's my secret. The Mac 9 DS is kind of a test bed for that.
Oh, nice.
So nice. I think it's going to come back. Is it going to come back this year? I don't know. But if you didn't buy a Bantam when they came out, you messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plain
I'm
and
still
simple.
kicking myself for not getting the 9
Like-
mil.
yeah.
Like,
So
that
we're out there
gun-
talking about the Pony Express real quick, and that's a joke that we had that Ginger came up with our buddy Kyle Anderson, and it's a it's a coach gun, shotgun, and we're gonna call it the Pony Express. And the funny thing is Mr. Anderson actually heard about it and was like, "What's going on with this Pony Express?" They were like, "Oh, seriously?" Like it was a joke. But like we've had people go on their social media and hashtag Pony Express 2024. Like it's epic. But everyone's saying that you and Kyle should work on the Pony Express because that would be kind of sick. But
I'm
anyways,
just
yeah.
watching Neil's head to see if it's going to bob or not.
Feels like God.
I can sell. I can sell a Pony Express. I can sell that. I can sell a coach gun. But yeah, all right, we're gonna bring you guys back real quick. Thanks for go check out their Pony Poles. Go check out AndersonManufacturing.com. Great people over there, great
I was
products.
on there today filling my cart for my next build. No kidding.
Yeah, they've got some really, and they got the front line coming out. They got the bolt action coming out pretty soon. Obviously, the Kiger line is pretty good, but yeah, they're good. They're great friends of mine personally, and great friends of the channel, obviously. But yeah, they come up with some really cool stuff. It's really nice to see this year at SHOT Show. It was a weird SHOT Show, like in a good way, but it was a weird SHOT Show. How was SHOT for you guys? Was it back to normal almost? What you guys thought? That's kind of what I was thinking. Is like back to like pre cough numbers,
I'll let Adam go first because this is Adam's second SHOT Show, so he doesn't have a barometer really to gauge.
Yeah, I went. Was it 2 years ago? So it was like.
Oh, so you went to the greatest SHOT Show ever, in my opinion. Probably not for the industry, but for the media, it was the greatest SHOT Show because there was nobody there. It was wonderful.
Yeah, 2 years ago we were in the basement. And
see, I love the dungeon, though. I love the dungeon.
I got to meet a lot of people, but this year was just crazy. It was crazy busy for us with all the new products across all.
But that's a good thing, though, right?
Lines and I mean, it was. What are we 2-3 weeks away now, and I'm still trying to recover. I'm still trying to field all the emails from a lot of the interest because even when I walked away from the booth, I was giving my spiel just as much because I was meeting people that I was trying to work with and tell. What do you guys do? Well, let me tell you.
Well, let me take a walk with you.
I've seen some things this week. I'll say I've been going to SHOT Show off and on since 2010, being a booth jockey for a lot of companies over the years. Yeah. And this year, felt like SHOT Show. If I had to describe to people what SHOT Show was, this was the year. I won't say it was like what it was 5 years ago, but sales guys were making deals, which I think SHOT Show after a while like lost its sales kind of aspect. My wife, I think it was Wednesday, she was like, I've seen more of you on the internet than I've seen you at home in the last month.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Because
all the interviews that we did, it was fun. Even I went to a few of the after parties and it was SHOT Show.
It was back. Yeah.
If you've gone to SHOT Show for more than 10 years, I think this was, if you told stories about SHOT Show, this was a year you could have been like, yeah, this was SHOT Show. So
yeah, for me it was great. Yeah. I heard from a lot of different companies that it's like by Wednesday or Thursday morning at the latest, we're saying like record sales. Like, and that's not something you usually hear at SHOT or record sales. It's like, wow, really? Yeah, record sales.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Neil's been going to SHOT Show since Moses showed off his new staff. So,
well, see, from what I understand, Neil, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I heard, were you not a fraternity brother of Lincoln's? I heard this to be true. You're like, what the hell? Wow. So you've been going for a while. It's like, where do you see this in comparison? Maybe since it's been in Vegas, let's put it that way. Full time in Vegas.
I mean, so this was 24 SHOT shows for me, and I've been, running booths, and I worked for Guns and Ammo way back in the day, and so I've been on both sides, and I would say it was back, and it's been a while since I've seen it like that. I mean, and granted, last year was a little harder because we were downstairs, and so I didn't get up as much to see the main floor, but having the booth upstairs made it, I think, a dramatic difference in our traffic and certainly our exposure. And it was as busy as I could ever remember.
Yeah, no, it was, and I will say, so moving from the basement to the main floor, I went down to the basement this year because one of my companies that I work with, I felt like the lights downstairs this year were like 10 times brighter. Like for the years I've been in the basement, I was like, it's so dark and dingy. I went down there. There's a lot of
Chinesium light companies down there. That's probably what it was.
But I was like, when do they put all these lights in down here? Like, I've been down here for years, and it.
Yeah. So I typically,
like, if I ever get out of the basement, I'm not.
Yeah, I typically spend about, like, honestly, probably like 60 to 70% of my time at the dungeons, because I like looking at all the innovations. I like seeing the companies that literally have everything on the line, and you may not see them next year if it doesn't go well. I spent 20 minutes this year because I was so busy, which is a good thing. But from what I understand, it was a much different dungeon than it has been in years past. So I probably didn't miss a whole lot.
No, it was going back down there and seeing the companies that are like still down there and committed to it and growing. And like you said, it sucks some years. You see a company that you may have seen last year that they're not there again.
Yeah. That's the thing.
But this year's SHOT Show was work, but it was fun. Like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now there are some companies that like being like the big dogs of the dungeon, like Fort Scott's. I don't think they'll ever move, but they enjoy like kind of being one of the bigger dogs down in the dungeon. So I get why some people stay down there, but it's good to hear that maybe moving upstairs was probably a right call, because that's a scary call, because you're talking exponentially like more money to go upstairs, but I'm glad to hear that it worked out for you guys.
It was freaky walking into the booth and seeing it set up. Yeah. I mean, even Neil. So Neil's like pretty new to the company. Like he started last year at SHOT Show, and from the marketing department, Neil convinced, the partners and the company, like, hey, let's invest, make this nice booth. And when we walked into it this year, it was like, man, we're either getting fired tomorrow or.
So had y'all not seen the actual booth like set up in its realm ahead of time?
No, like we walked in and even me, like I had never made like 50-foot graphics before. Like, so they're like, hey, make a poster that's 50 feet,
Well,
and when I walked in the booth,
boys.
I'm like,
well done.
I'm like, well, I didn't screw anything up, I hope.
No, it was great. I didn't realize that was
totally
like
light on our resumes.
Yeah, I didn't know that was like brand new. Like, it was great.
Yeah,
I would have never guessed that it was just the first time being unveiled.
Yeah, no, the team from Adam and the project managers and the sales guys, and even the people that don't generally work in front of people, it was nuts. It was nuts this year. And
yeah, I'm not a big fan of people.
I tend to agree.
I like numbers.
People piss me off in numbers. Yeah. Yeah.
Clover, did you have something? I noticed Jared kept walking over you.
He's used to it.
He was walking over me. Ha 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 ha. Well played, sir.
Now you might have an inch or two on him, Clover.
Yeah, that's what she said. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have an inch on two or anybody. So, I do want to give Clover a few minutes. I know that
that's dangerous.
It is dangerous. Yeah. Before I let Adam and Jared and Neil kind of do their closing remarks until we can finally get Clover, thanks for coming in, buddy, as always. If you're a channel member of Clover's, which I am, you were able to see episode 1 live of the new Clover podcast today. So
the recording of it.
The recording of it, yes. Yeah, the recording of it, which
it will be posted in its entirety for those that aren't channel members. So you didn't miss anything except for being able to hang out and chat and ask questions. Yeah.
But who you got coming up? And I know that you got some guests coming up, a couple more this week that you're going to be recording. Correct?
Yeah, I've got the next couple of weeks. I've got, I think, 5 or 6 or 7 episodes on recorders. I don't even know. But had the Rogue Banshee today. I've got Jeff Knox. I've got to record with.
Is the rumor true? I guess we'll find out if the rumor is true.
Supposedly running for the NRA board now that Mr. Blapew Wayne is gone. Then we got Ransom Arrest, Mike from Ransom International.
Good people there.
Oh yeah. We've got Predator Armor, which I think you've talked with before. We've got my favorite Oriental, Todd.
You got a rug guy coming, a rug dealer coming.
A rug guy.
So my wife's Japanese, and he makes a fun joke. He says, "Oh, she's Oriental," and she's like, "I'm not a fucking rug," you know.
So I got a what is it? Force Multiplier podcast is his, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I think this month, and then we got Hyperion Munitions, Garrisar. We're going to talk shotguns for sure with that. But those are the ones kind of slated for that. To SDS though, but you guys are knocking it out of the park with shotguns, and I'm very happy to see that. But I'm disappointed there's no 22 long rifle on the roster. We got to work on that.
Oh my god!
Just saying.
Crawl, walk, run, right? You know what I say?
For the right amount of likes and follows, I may leak a picture of the project manager's board. The whiteboard there's some cool stuff on there.
Oh yeah. I've done that.
So, let's be honest. Clover's fishing. Clover's fishing for you guys to name the next 22 LR product. The Clover.
There's not a lot of 22 stuff that comes out of Turkey. Doesn't seem like. Am I wrong about that? Or
I can't talk about what I was handed today.
No, I'm talking in general. I'm not talking about from you guys. I'm just talking about it in general. I don't really see a lot of 22 long rifle stuff coming out of Turkey.
It may not come out of there. I mean, we may be looking at other avenues to do some other projects. You know.
Well, this is true. I forget you guys can import from other places. Yeah.
I think as we continue to position ourselves in the market, we're going to check some boxes that I don't think a lot of people were expecting us to.
Yeah. And
I think legal will be happy with that comment.
Yeah,
I think I can.
I saw Neil kind of. Neil was kind of. Oh God, where is he going with this? It's gonna be a long night, folks.
You navigated that well because that was zero information. That was absolutely.
You should be a politician.
Legal should be proud.
So there's an unreleased video that we did like leading up to SHOT Show where we had a product that unfortunately isn't going to make it to market, but we filmed a lot of promotional material for it, and it was 2 minutes of BS, and it was like a news story. Well, the building the building burned down because of the hot fire, and had the fire not been so hot, maybe the building would have burned differently. And I wish I could play this video. The people that have seen it internally, they're just like, Jared, like you pulled off like the greatest.
Oh, it was such.
It was so bad. But on video,
legal said no.
Yeah, we're like, no, we can't use that for anything now, and it's
anything,
one of those.
This will never leave this building ever. Like he can
never leave the archive. But it was.
But you know where it is. Anytime you want to see it, you know where it is.
Like it was a master class in just sales fluff, and like
it should be in sales.
We need 2 minutes of info on something that only has 8 seconds of features, and it was so bad. But when we watched it, we're like, I would buy that. I would totally buy that.
We've all taken our classes on bullet points and EPR.
That's right. So
exactly. Well, guys, let people out there. First of all, thanks for coming on. It was great having you guys on. Have you back on here when some of the stuff gets launched, maybe, and then be able to talk more about it. But take a few minutes, tell people where they can find you, whether it's social media, website, maybe like some support or customer service emails if people do need that for a product. Hopefully they don't, but you never know.
So, SDSimports.com is kind of the mothership. You're going to find links to all the brands that are down there. I'll say it out here, Tisas, we preemptively issued a recall on some of our guns. So if you might own some of the guns that are affected, head on over to the website. We're going to take care of you. We're going to make it right. We're going to upgrade your guns free of charge and make sure that you have a gun that meets our expectations as well as yours. TisasUSA.com, TokareVUSA.com, SpandauArms.com, EnglisMFG.com, and MillArmamentCorp.com are the websites. Head out there.
Yeah.
We are a very socially active company. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, there's a pretty good chance that if you get a response to your comment or like, it's me. Reyes, our other social media girl, she is fantastic. You guys have kind of seen it. If you do a YouTube video, we're in your comment section. We're mixing it up with your fans and having a good time. So we're that kind of company, and I'm grateful to work for a company that gives me that freedom to be a regular dude on social media and on the web, where we're not like a stuffy corporate company where I got to look back at legal and be like, can I tell this guy that he's a moron, or can I tell this guy that he's doing?
The answer is always
job?
Yes. In my book, I enjoy calling people morons, but
we ask for forgiveness more than permission.
Yeah. So, but I think we're fortunate. So YouTube, we have a growing YouTube channel, and I love doing these podcasts. I think they're fun. We get to talk shop and be more laid back, I guess, than what we do on
Well, I like it, especially doing it live here. And a lot of people that come onto the podcast are a little nervous about doing it live. I'm like, look, the great thing about it is you've got the consumer, the end user available to you to ask direct questions, which great questions, by the way, for the guys out there. Thank you so much for interacting. But more importantly, so we get to see you guys at shows and all that, and we can laugh and joke and hang out a little bit. We see the funny side, the humorous side, and that you guys, a lot of people don't understand that most of the people that work in the industry are great people. They just don't get to see that a whole lot. So it's awesome to go on these podcasts, show the personalities a little bit, because they know, okay, not only do I have a face to that company, but they actually are pretty cool people. Like, okay, I get it now. And so it's nice for the end user, the consumers, to kind of see that other side of the industry as well.
We're dudes, we're gun people. Adam That's is right. If you've seen Adam's patch collection from SHOT Show and like the patch panels that he's put up, he's as much of a gun nerd as anyone else. And Neil, we're always sharing trail camera pictures with each other. We watch Adam and his McRib escapades every year.
The McRib, I'm telling you, man, that's gotta happen.
If you get a chance, follow us on social media. We're always kind of posting up our just the way we are, the way we do life. We like meat, we like beer, we like guns. We're just dudes. Except for
I can attest. I don't know if you guys didn't see this. Like the second these guys showed up tonight in the green room, they're drinking beer. Like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So chicks can be dudes nowadays, anyway.
Well,
I don't know. No, not Reyes. She, like I said, she's probably gonna throw something at me tomorrow when I walk by her. You said what? So
G-Webs is a big. Obviously, you guys know Ginger is a big patch freak. So is G-Webs. G-Webs got like 4 or 5 patch panels at least that I know of filled up. He said he's interested in seeing the SHOT Show patch haul. Is that on your Instagram? Did you ever put anything up on your private Instagram on your patch?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram, the ammo Adam.
So we should do like
Adam that Adam has on his thing,
because I filled it up today.
Maybe tomorrow we'll do like an MTV Cribs, and we'll let Adam show it off.
I'll be at the range all day. I've got
I feel like Adam is.
You don't have to be there.
Adam is like one step away from an intervention with patches, but if we called like the TV show Intervention and we're like, hey, we need to set up an intervention.
Boy, there's no way. He's never met G-Webs.
Yeah, G-Webs is.
There's others that have more than me. That I've just been.
Apparently, the SHOT Show Viking douchebag that was there. Apparently, he stole like every
Yeah, I
patch
heard
and
about that
sticker
guy.
that GOA had on the counter.
I heard
He
about
just
that
took
guy.
everything and walked away. He was like, "What the hell?" So
The coffee
yeah,
pot, the sample stuff they had,
We got attacked by
everything.
some kids
their
like that.
promotional
in
materials,
TriggerCon
their
that
personal
cleared our
notebooks.
table.
What's that, Adam?
We got attacked by some kids like that in TriggerCon that just came and swapped our
It
whole
wasn't
table.
kids. It was just Clover and me. We're just shorter than most human beings. So.
God, like,
I feel bad. I used to do that once upon a time. I
You
used
to do that.
I used to focus more on the patches and stuff, but the last probably, I guess, well over a year, because we kind of went into shot last year pretty serious about things, and
Yeah.
so it was just so busy working that unless it was somebody handed me one or it was just right there in front of my in front of my face, I just don't pick anything up anymore, which is kind of sad.
you know, that brings me hope, because if you can change, that means maybe we
If
can all.
I can change,
Well,
then
I've got,
you can change. Then everyone can change. That's Rocky IV, baby. I know where you're going with that.
yeah.
He's like, I grew up as a person,
Yeah.
not height wise, but
Uh,
emotionally, he's grown.
yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys out there for watching. If you're, like I said, if you're watching this live, thank you guys. It was a great conversation, great questions from out there in the chat. If you're watching this in replay or listening to it, it's in podcasts. Go ahead. Any questions that weren't answered that you have, you can get them through the comment section. I'll make sure that these guys get them, or you can go ask them on social media. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, especially when the McGrip is coming out. That's the biggest pressing question. The McGrip is going to happen. The big bore Mac needs to happen. No. More importantly, guys, get out there, be more proficient with your firearms. Stay in tune with everything that's going on in the two-way legislation. Make sure that your elected representatives are doing their jobs. If not, remember, 2024 is an election year. We can make that shit change. So get out there, be proactive in local, state, federal, and all that. More importantly, just enjoy your freedoms of being an American, one of which is to keep and bear arms. We'll see you next week. Semper Fi.
Guys.